We're good, Paul? All right. Here we are. Well, everyone, welcome back to Vidane TV and also Tim's Corner Motorsports. We are live and in living color on Facebook, Twitch, YouTube. You name it, we're on it tonight for another special TCM event. It's the Tranquility Online 125 here at Myrtle Beach Speedway. I'm Dylan Langille from Riverside International Speedway and Valley Raceway here in Nova Scotia, joined by my good friends, Wes Rowdy Hogue down in the States, and my good buddy from Newfoundland, Mr. Mike James from Eastbound Park. Evening, sirs.
Going on, Dylan, man, it's going to be awesome. Friday, we got in some street stocking here at Myrtle Beach, and pretty excited about getting the super lates going here. I believe we got 55 qualifying for the big show here tonight for the Tranquility 150. 32 drivers from Nova Scotia, 10 from New Brunswick, 5 from Newfoundland and Labrador. We got a couple peppered in there from the United States, 1 from New Hampshire, 1 from New Jersey, North Carolina, and 5 from Prince Edward Island. So it's going to be great. 28 will make the big run here for the feature, and I believe we're taking top 3 in the heats here, and then we're going to have some consies and take the top qualifier for the big show.
It's going to be an exciting one, and even riding off that high that we had a couple days ago on Friday, and even yesterday afternoon with the very first Petty International Raceway East Series race, when Danny Chisholm was able to hold off a fast-charging Brett Suggs, who's going to be appearing in this race to get that win. That was at USA International. Tonight, we are at Myrtle Beach, and it's just really, we're getting fired up here. I'm getting fired up in the comfort of my own apartment here watching some iRacing. Wes Rowdy Hogue, are you there, my friend?
I am here, getting everything rocking and rolling, getting everything loaded up. Good to talk to you again. We had some great racing yesterday, and looks like we have another night of some great racing here at TCM.
Absolutely, and we want to thank our friends again at Tranquility Online for sponsoring tonight's race and next Sunday's race. These are uncertain times with COVID-19, and let alone here in Nova Scotia. We've been dealing with a few other things as well. This is an app which can help with anxiety if you're having issues with that, and really, who isn't these days? If you're looking for more details, you can go to tranquility.app to find out more and check them out and support them as they're supporting local iRacing tonight here on Tim's Corner Motorsports and Vidane TV. And we're excited for them hopping along for 125 laps here at Myrtle Beach. This is a track, another short track, 13-degree bankings in the turns, just over half a mile. Straightaways have a little bit of angle to them, 4 degrees in the front stretch, 3 on the back stretch. It's just going to be some tight short track racing again tonight.
Friday night, Craig McDonald put on a show. Him and Langille really put on a show with the 18, and basically right down to the final lap, we were calling it right to the end, myself and Paul, and there was a little bump coming out of turn 2. Langille throw his poker face a little too early. McDonald come back in 3 and 4 and take the big win in the street stock. So both will be in play tonight. So it'll be interesting to see if we see a repeat of the weekend. I know at Petty yesterday, you guys had a fabulous show, and we've been seeing a lot of these final lap runs and close quarters between the leaders.
Yeah, it all came down to the end. So if you missed the race yesterday, highly recommend checking out Vidane TV's YouTube channel or Tim's Corner Motorsports to watch that race again, because it was a barn burner by the end. We had a late race caution. Poor Mike Alexander was leading the entire thing until there was a late race caution. He pits along with most of the leaders. We had 4 or 5 cars risk it and stay out. Then there was another caution to set up a green-white-checkered. And at the end, Danny Chisholm passed the 00 of Ricky Arbo, got around him, had a lot of pressure from the 3 of Brett Suggs, an American. He was the lone American racing yesterday. And tires factor towards the end with 125. I think it's going to be a big play as well. Not sure about fuel, as we saw at Richmond International Raceway not that long ago. What was that, last Sunday or 2 Sundays ago, Mike, where Craig McDonald ran out of gas with about 7 laps to go?
All right, Mike has his head where the sun don't shine, so I'll pick it up from there. But definitely has been some great racing here we've seen with Tim's Corner Motorsports. And we called that yesterday, Dylan. We said Mike Alexander might have been a bad move pitting. And it was, and Danny Chisholm was able to bring home the win. What a great race yesterday. But we are one to go to green here at Myrtle Beach Speedway. Corey Hall is your leader. Mike Alexander will be starting second. Brett Suggs third. The American out of North Carolina. Starting fourth, it will be Keith McClellan as the pace truck heads down pit road. Awaiting the green flag is Corey Hall. The green flag is out. Corey Hall's on the loud pedal with Mike Alexander second, Brett Suggs third, and the battle is heating up already here for the fourth and fifth position between McKellen in the 30 and the 78 of John Fitzpatrick heading out of 2.
That's right. We're diving into some heat racing. So I think we're going to be running 4 heats, maybe 5, depending on the car count tonight. Top 3 are going to be advancing to the 125-lap feature coming up in a little bit. So as it would sit, Corey Hall, Mike Alexander, and Brett Suggs will be moving on to the show. So keep an eye on that battle for third. And if the drivers don't make it here in the heat races, there'll be a few consies coming up where the top 4 will advance. And we'll check on our pole sitter who had the fastest time in the short qualifying round there. But Corey Hall is mighty fast on the early get-go on lap number 3.
Corey Hall definitely showing out here. Mike Alexander in tow in second. He wants to get himself a win here tonight at Myrtle Beach, and we know Mike that he wants a little bit of redemption from last night. That's a bug that just keeps biting until you're able to get that win. And then a Brett Suggs who had a great race as well. He's in tow with the 33, and those 3 have pulled away from Keith McKellen in the 4th position. But again, these heat races are 10-lap heat races, so it's a long way to go in a short time to get there for those guys in the back, as we're already almost halfway.
Brett Suggs trying to look underneath Mike Alexander. Those were 2 dominant cars at USA International. We're at a slightly shorter track today here at Myrtle Beach with similar turns as well, but again, the straightaway is not as long, so most of these drivers were participating in the Petty Raceway deal yesterday. You can see there's quite a curve actually going into turn 1 as well, which is pretty unique about Myrtle Beach, how the straightaway just kind of abruptly ends after the start-finish line. On the outside, there's Brett Suggs trying to look on Mike Alexander in the 75.
These straightaways are a lot like my first marriage. Abruptly ends, and you're just waiting for it to turn left. And this battle for second place is heating up as Mike Alexander gets a little bit of a click there on the right rear quarter of Brett Suggs. Just no harm, no foul. Just a little bit of short track racing as they barrel out of 3 and 4. We come into lap 8 with 3 to...
Now, here's the thing with those 2 battling for second. The 30 of McLennan has started to reel in the top 3. And also, look at there, the number 78 of Fitzpatrick also following right behind. Coming up with 2 to go. Do you want to try and maybe use a bit of the chrome horn to get into the big show, or do you want to have to fight it out in the consolation race? I think the 30 and the 78 want to kind of push the envelope here and see if they can get to the top 3.
Absolutely. These guys up front, though, they have nothing to worry about. Speaking of Mike Alexander, Corey Hall, Mike Alexander's under fire now from Brett Suggs. Of course, the better you finish, the better you start in the feature, as they're side by side coming out of 4, white flag in the air. And it looks like right now your top 5 is pretty set right now. This is what you...
It's set in stone, nearly side by side, but who's going to finish second here? And maybe will there be a bit of a bump? Alexander on the outside of Suggs. Corey Hall's going to win the heat race down to the wire. It's Mike Alexander finishing second, Brett Suggs in third.
Great race there, Dylan. And Dylan, is it the top 3 or top 5 that move on in these?
Top 3.
Oh, top 3. Okay. See, every league is different. I'm so used to top 5. Man, that makes it even rougher on these guys. So as we get ready for our second heat, Dylan, I'd like to welcome in one of our interns here at Vidane TV. He is an up-and-coming announcer at a track in northern New York, upstate New York. His name is Kyle Young. Kyle, how you doing tonight, buddy?
Doing great, Wes. Glad to be up here. Glad to be here with you guys. Looking forward to checking out some super late model action here at the Myrtle Beach Speedway, getting set for heat race number 2, and looking to see what we can pick up and do as the night progresses and enjoy some racing action.
Dylan, if you want to kind of let the viewers and Kyle know the show that Danny Chisholm put on yesterday, who's starting.
Oh, brother, you missed the big one if you didn't catch that. Danny Chisholm had the strategy call of getting tires with most of the leaders. He evaded danger a few times with a few pileups on some restarts. He was able to hold off the fast-charging Brett Suggs and got a big win yesterday. In fact, Danny's no stranger to landing in victory lane during these special TCM events. As you can see, he is going to be starting first in this heat race.
And starting second will be Nick Codner in the 43. The 41 of Jason Goss starting third. Fourth will be the 54 Jared Butcher. Fifth being Paul McCollum. Sixth being Mike Rhino. George White, 71 in the 7th position. The 24, Mark Williams starting 8th. Ethan Miller in the 80 starting 9th. Outside of him starting 10th will be Joey Arsenal. And rounding out your field is Nevin Scott. Now, Kyle Young, I know you don't get to see many of these races that TCM has put on, but now you're going to get to call your first one. And I'm going to let you take this green flag as Danny Chisholm's going to lead him on down.
Much appreciated. Looking forward to it. Once again, top 3 cars will transfer on to tonight's 125-lap feature event. The pace truck ducking down onto pit road and leaving the field in control by Danny Chisholm. He will hit the green flag at full speed and takes an early command of the race lead. First 3 cars are going to go single file before we're double wide for position number 4. That's the 41 machine of Jason Ghost and the 4 car of Paul McCollum. McCollum on the outside. He's going to lose the advantage coming off the turn. They're now going to try to go 3 wide. McCollum nearly gets into the outside wall, but the spot remains with Jason Ghost for now, as that's Mike Rhino in the 34 going to try to follow his way through, potentially continuing to try to go 3 wide.
Jared Butcher, did you notice on the start there, Jared Butcher kind of dipsy-doodled his way into third, and he's not looking back after that. Remember, fans watching tonight on Vidane TV and Tim's Corner Motorsports, top 3 advantage. Not about top 5 right now. You want to get to that 3rd position. There is the 43 of Nick Codner, a Newfoundlander racing here tonight against the Nova Scotian up in front. Danny Chisholm's got a mirror full of the 43.
That top 3 is pretty set right now, guys, as the next one would be Jason Goss in that 4. We saw a little bit of a race car body check at the beginning of this race, but nonetheless, these guys are, it seems like they're getting into this rhythm. Everybody's single file throughout the field except for Paul McCollum, who has wrecked coming off of turn 4. Not exactly sure what happened, but we don't have cautions here in the heat, so it's hard to catch up. Paul's going to have to try to work his way up through the field through the last chance qualifier, but back up front, Kyle, is Danny Chisholm.
Yeah, that gap is shortening between himself and Nick Codner. Codner starting to reel him in and closing in on that back bumper. The cross flags are flying. We're 5 down, 5 laps to go here at Myrtle Beach for heat race number 2. Trying to look and see if he has an advantage over race leader Danny Chisholm. Still about a car length or 2 separating the top 2, trying to find some space, but he's got some space out the rear view to work with here, so no pressure to really make the move for the race lead. He's got a lot of space behind. He can comfortably ride in second to try to see if he has anything for race leader Danny Chisholm, excuse me. Not necessarily the same for Jason Ghost. He's got about 3 or 4 car lengths separating himself between Jared Butcher. That is for the final transfer spot, and Butcher's got Mike Rhino behind him as well, so things could heat up here in the final 3 laps.
Mike James from Eastbound Park, if you got your mic working, you've got 2 Newfoundlanders in the top 3 of Codner and Goss. That's got to be good feeling there, seeing all your fellow Newfoundlanders running up in front here.
Yeah, Jason Goss qualified 3rd in the qualifier last night. So, and Codner just serving a penalty and coming back. This is his first race back. He's been in the top 3. So good run here and a welcome back for Nick Codner, and looking like he's out for some vengeance here tonight.
Guys up front, the lead hasn't changed, but the pressure is on as we come across the white flag for the young Danny Chisholm as he comes around to 1 to go. He dives into turn 1, no real pressure. The Jason Ghost ride in the 41, no pressure on him. It looks like we should have a pretty clean finish here as they dive it down into 3 and 4 here, Dylan. Looks like Danny Chisholm is going to be your winner coming out of 4.
Yeah, Danny Chisholm continuing what he did yesterday, getting that checkered flag and finishing first. Nick Codner landing in second in the final transfer spot to the Tranquility Online 125. Jason Goss in the number 41, hailing from Torbay, Newfoundland there, Mike.
Jason.
All right, Mike's head is where it shouldn't belong again, it sounds like, as Mike is still struggling with that microphone. You hear
Mike, ride that mic. Get right on it.
Hard and wet. All right, Kyle.
All right.
Go ahead and break down our starting lineup here for us.
So heat race number 3 getting themselves on the grid, it will look like this. On the pole in car number 53 is Cole Butcher, and to his outside in car number 6 is Brad Eddy. The number 56 machine of Stephen Matthews, he's going to roll off on the inside of row number 2, and Josh Langille will be 4th place starter in the 18 machine. The top 5 will round out with the number 89 car of Conrad Murphy, and the 38 of Travis Roma will fill position number 6. The inside of row 4 has the number 90 car of Craig Kenny, and outside of him in the 2 is Todd Cousins. Row number 5, the inside of that row, the number 42 car of Jordan Rushton will fill that spot, and his outside rounding out the top 10 is Michael Neary in the 23, and the 108 car of Mike Umla will round out your 11 car Heat Race 3 starting field.
Yeah, we've got some strong heavy hitters. We've got Legends champions. We've got Pro Stock Tour champions. We've got champions of all kinds here in this heat race. Heat race number 3. I think we're going to have 4 coming up here, maybe 5, depending on how many cars decide to answer the call this evening. Top 3, again, are moving on. We are going to have some consolation races coming up. And, of course, the pole sitter is going to be claiming a spot in the feature coming up the Tranquility Online 125. Pace truck is pulled in. 2-time Maritime Pro Stock Tour champion Cole Butcher on the inside of Brad Eddy, and Cole spins the tires off the get-go. Not a good start. Brad Eddy gets the green flag, and he lands in first with Josh Langille in trail.
Awesome battle here, starting right off the get-go.
Oh, we got a wreck in turn 3.
Go ahead,
Couple of cars at the top there, so no caution on the track as we keep rolling here green as the camera is focused on Travis Roma and the 53. That's the battle for the transfer spot. Meanwhile, Brad Eddy again running a classic paint scheme dedicated to his father, Dan Eddy, in the 6. He's out in front of Josh Langille.
Kyle, what we're seeing here, if you're not familiar with Myrtle Beach Speedway TCM, is Brad Eddy. That kind of looks like a quality care Dale Jarrett throwback, but it's actually a throwback to his father as well that used to run that scheme. So some of these schemes here are really familiar, as well as 89 and Conrad Murphy. Looks like he's running the South Point Casino paint scheme, as we know, is owned by Brendan Gaughan and his family.
Yeah, a lot of customization here with these guys throughout the field with their super late models. And we got
Brad Eddy's off.
Leader. Brad Eddy is going into the pits out of the lead.
Oh my goodness, I think it's almost a jinx to be landing in first spot. We had Cole Butcher spin the tires on the get-go now. Brad Eddy pulling into the pits, not sure what's going on with the number 6 machine. Maybe we'll get a report on what's happening with him, but that's going to hand over to Josh Langille in the 18. Cole Butcher slides to second. Now Travis Roma is in that transfer spot in third.
Did not expect to see our leader all of a sudden head down pit road. I wonder if there's something else going on that we're just not hearing about or knowing about. Nonetheless, Josh Langille, is he any relation to you, or is that just common?
Common last name in our area. Who knows? Maybe we got a cousin that we share the same name. But I know him and his brother Nathan. They race at a local dirt track that I announce at. Good family, good kids, and he's out in front right now in front of Travis Roma, who's grabbed second position.
I wonder if there's a problem with a black flag for Brad Eddy, why he went down. He just had a black flag cleared. Maybe if there was a problem on the start, did he jump something? If Kyle, if I can have you go back to lap 1 for us, please, to see if the 6, did he jump the start or something like that? Please let us know as we're coming around next time around, 2 to go. What were you able to find here, Kyle?
Well, I think the issue there, Wes, was that with how bad the tire spin was for Cole Butcher off the start, he probably beat the pole setter to the green flag, and you're not supposed to do that in iRacing. The leader has to fire first. The leader has to be the one ahead when green flag flies. And because of the spun tires, that allowed Brad Eddy to get ahead of him and threw a frivolous black flag. Unfortunately, they weren't able to get that taken care of ahead of time.
Oh, man.
He ducked down off the race lead, and he's going to be in trouble here coming up to Charlie.
And he got it cleared too late there, Dylan.
That's a tough go as we're on the final lap here. Some side-by-side battling with Neary and Rushton. Josh Langille in front with Travis Roma in third. Cole Butcher's in third with Travis Roma in second. And coming around to grab the checkered flag will be Josh Langille in the 18, Travis Roma. And Cole Butcher moving on to the Tranquility Online 125 this evening at Myrtle Beach Speedway.
Mike, we got you back yet? I'm going to take that as nope.
Not yet.
Our guest, Mike, has a little bit of an issue still with his microphone here. So if we can get him back on in a little bit later, we will here. And for you viewers that are watching, thank you for watching. If you haven't subscribed yet, you're new to this, feel free to subscribe. We call races about 5 to 6 nights a week right now. Some days are multiple races. We have a quadruple header tonight. This is race 3 of 4 of tonight for us. So make sure if you're on Vidane TV, go ahead and hit that subscribe button on YouTube. If you're on Facebook, hit that like button. Or if you're on Twitch, make sure you hit that like button. And if you are a league owner that might want your races broadcasted by Vidane TV, message us on Facebook at Vidane TV. But tonight, we're showing off the action here. Kyle, if you want to give us the rundown here at Myrtle Beach.
You know, I appreciate the opportunity, but I think I'm going to send this one over to Dylan so I can get a little bit familiar with some of these Canadian last names.
I try to get him, Dylan. I try to get him.
And I'm going to throw back at you because I'm watching almost a broadcast feed. I'm not seeing graphics pop up, but I can let you know. I can let you know, though, that the 00 is Ricky Arbo, and he had a fantastic run yesterday. But go through the field there.
All right, Craig McDonald starting second. Starting third, if he stopped blinking, that would be wonderful. I'm not even going to call it. Starting fourth would be Noel Faugier. The 77 is supposed to start third, but he's blinking so much, I feel like my epilepsy is going to kick in. The 31 of Jean-Paul Arsenault going to be starting, looks like he's supposed to be lining up fifth. The 77 of Mark
Tremont, you got her.
Yep. He won't stop blinking. The John Veron starting the 57 on the high side there. Riley Duncan, the 097, the 10 of Brady Creamer, and we are green here at Myrtle Beach Speedway as Craig McDonald with the whole shot over Arbo.
See, the thing is, we've got a variety here of different people racing from different provinces and different states. So it's a whole cluster of different last names as we are learning here. And now we have Craig McDonald, Ricky Arbo, and the 77 of Mark D'Entremont as your top three. And as we start to settle in here, Kyle, are you kind of getting familiar with some of the Maritimers and Atlantic Canadian names?
Yeah, absolutely, Dylan. Some of these guys are familiar to me. Like, I know the Ricky Arbo name. That's not an unfamiliar name. But things are definitely a little bit different up in the Canadian provinces compared to us down here in the States. But it's super cool to learn new drivers, see new faces, new cars, and get familiar with different people and different talents. That's one of the best things about the world of racing is that you can stay local to yourself and what you know, or you can branch out and start to learn some other things and really find a lot of entertainment with some of the unfamiliarities with the sport.
Guys, that battle up front is it's nose to tail, but I'll tell you what, the John Veron in that 57 ride in fifth, he's looking down low on the 31. He dives it into 3 and 4 on Arsenault, trying to get that position. And 3 wides to 36 of Noel Faugier. He makes the 57 back off, saying, no. You not know my name. I run up front. I'm going up front. And, man, if these guys better hurry up and figure it out if he wants to catch that 77 ride.
Noel also sings the national anthem partly during the little video package we have before the feature coming up here. So he can sing an anthem and he can drive a race car as he's working on JP Arsenault, racer at Lake Dowsett Motor Speedway and a sportsman racer, of course, here in Nova Scotia in the Maritimes. Oh, and JP gets tagged by the 36, who also got hit by the 57 of Byron. So JP Arsenault, I've jinxed it by accident, turned around at the halfway point. He falls all the way back here.
Noel Faugier was looking like a tank pounding through this field, and JP feels the effects of that. But that's what you get sometimes, man. You only got top 3 moving on. You only got 10 laps to do that. Noel started further in the back. He had to do what he had to do. Now his next victim might be Mark D in that 77 ride. If he will stop blinking, that would be absolutely wonderful.
Yeah, Mark's internet, I don't know if it's a little glitchy there down Yarmouth way, but he's still holding steady in the 3rd position. There's Ricky Arbo closing in on Craig McDonald, coming up with 2 to go. Ricky pulled a strategy move to get a top 5 finish at USA International yesterday. Craig McDonald had fuel shortage heartache and heartbreak last Sunday at Richmond. A shorter track help him out, coming down to the final lap here for heat race number 4. Arbo starts closing in with 1 to go. Craig McDonald still holding that lead, and he's got some lap cars here, but I don't expect too much competition as these 3 drivers will be moving on to the Tranquility Online 125 in just a little bit. Around turn 4, Craig McDonald from Waverly, Nova Scotia is going to grab the checkers. 2nd place, Ricky Arbo from New Brunswick, and Yarmouth's own Mark D'Entremont finishing in 3rd.
Man, great racing here in that 4th heat race. Man, I didn't expect to see Noel use that that front bumper as much as he did, but he definitely got it done.
He get her done, as Larry the Cable Guy would say. So I was seeing the 00 kind of sliding in the pitch there. So I'm just seeing, Wes, if are we going to do a 5th heat race here? I'm curious.
If I'm looking at it right now in the info, yes, we have a 5th heat race. We have a D main, a C main, a B main. That's so far what it's showing. How many people try to show up for this, Dylan?
I think there was a lot earlier. There was over 80 at one point. So Tim actually held a non-qualifiers race a little earlier with Caden Tufts actually getting the big win there. That was a non-broadcast race just for a little fun for some of the drivers. So yes, here is heat race number 5, and that's a familiar car we've seen up front here in these special TCM events, the 15 of Matthew Barkhouse, as we're going to go through your field here.
All right, Kyle, you think you can handle these last names?
Should be good on this one, Wes. So as mentioned, the 15 of Matthew Barkhouse, he will start on the pole here for the 5th and final heat race. Jonathan Pollard will be to his outside of the number 19 car. Inside of row number 2 is the 12 of Sam Rogers, and outside of him in the 03 is Ronald McKay. The top 5 will round out with the 519 of Ryan Walsh, and the 053 car of Kevin Nobley will be your 6th place starter. Brody Lewis in the 122 will line up in position number 7 with Jacob Lawrence in the 05, rounding out row number 4 in 8th. The top 10 will conclude with the Andrew Lively number 97 in position number 9 and Colin Boudreau in the 81 in 10th. Brian Nagy's 51 will round out this 11-car field. The final heat race, 3 more cars will transfer their way in, and then we will go alphabet soup main racing time.
Bravo, Kyle. A- on that.
I'm cool with it.
Yeah. No, Noble's the only name there, but you're learning as we go here.
Oh, Kyle, you should know the word noble now, but it does look like noble.
There's a Y after it.
It's silent in Canada English, I think.
Actually, you know what? I take that back. It may be just an A. I'm not exactly sure. That's a new driver to me. If we got our resident Newfoundlander with his mic, I believe Mike was getting his. He said he was throwing his old mic out. Mike, do we have you on the rock there? Not quite yet. So he's still silent, but still watching for sure, and maybe figuring out his tech issues. Either way, we've got a bunch of drivers all contending for some positions to go to the main feature. Green flag is out for the 15 of Matthew Barkhouse.
Barkhouse with the whole shot there. Jonathan Pollard in second. Battle is hard here for this last heat for third. That is the last transfer position that can skip over these LCQs and move on into the feature race. And right now, Sam Rogers holds it. Ronald McKay wants it in that 03. Some tough battling further in the back. Those guys, man, it's going to be hard for either one of those guys to be able to work it up. You got to think when it comes to let's say 7th on back without the miracle with only 10 laps, man. You're hoping that you get somewhere in the LCQ. But Sam Rogers with a great run off of turn 4. He's looking low in the 19 for second, but the 19 of Pollard shuts the door. Kyle.
Great battle for the final transfer spot between Sam Rogers and Ronald McKay, fighting hard, tooth and nail here early on in heat race number 5. Everybody still bumper to bumper, single file. The 12 machine trying to peek to the inside there of Jonathan Pollard. Nothing doing quite yet, but he is all over that back bumper. If Pollard doesn't get it going, he might feel that 12 car start to get a little impatient as he has a mirror full of Ronald McKay, and that is for the transfer spot. Now he's going to have an opportunity to go to the inside. Nothing doing quite yet. Lap 4 goes on the books. You can definitely tell Sam Rogers looking all over the racetrack, and now he puts the bumper to the 19. He actually shoves himself up off the bottom line, unable to move the 19 of Jonathan Pollard. Pollard hanging tough on this battle.
Pollard from Prince Edward Island hanging strong in the second position, although you see he's kind of sliding up the track there, especially on turn 4, slightly opening the door for the 12 and the 03. And also don't forget about the 057 of Nobley from Newfoundland. Beautiful card, kind of designed after the colors of the Newfoundland and Labrador flag. Sitting there in 5th, but that's not going to get you to the big show. There's Sam Rogers underneath the 19 of Pollard. It's Drag Race City down to turn number 1.
Just a few laps remaining. Sam Rogers looking low, and then 19 slips up in 1 and 2. He opens up the door, but that might be the smartest move. It's better to get that last final transfer position than get punted straight to the back. We've seen that earlier couple heat races ago. You don't want to see that now, but this now allows him to be under the radar of Ronald McKay in that 03 ride. He sees it and he wants it. He's under pressure by Ryan Walsh in the 519. You got 3 cars under a blanket right here as Barkhouse still pulls away, but this time around it will be 2 to go, Kyle.
Fantastic battle here for the final transfer spot. Sideways is the 519 of Ryan Walsh.
He's spinning
underneath the 03. He is around
junk
into the inside wall. Massive problem. That's going to relieve the pressure behind the 03 of Ronald McKay, but he is still outside looking in, trying to find a way to reel in the 19 of Jonathan Pollard coming to the white flag here, Dylan.
Yeah, Ryan Walsh, tough going. I got a couple cars mixed up there. So Ryan Walsh in that beautiful Newfoundland car makes sense. Walsh is a Newfoundland name. Either way, now we're diving into the final lap here. Matthew Barkhouse in a league of his own, well out in front. We've got Sam Rogers in second. Jonathan Pollard in that transfer position. Checkered flag out for the 15, and it will be the 12 and the number 19 of Pollard moving on to the big show tonight.
So close but so far away for Ronald McKay. But now we get into the 12 lappers. Not much more time in these consies though. Kyle, you're a dirt track racer yourself as I am. We've raced LCQs in the past, heat races. What's your mindset going into an LCQ, knowing that if you don't get to where you need to be, this is it. You're packing up. You're going home. All this practice was for nothing. Go drink a beer and drain your sorrows.
Yeah, Wes, the pressure is now on really, really thick. We just got the update now. 4 cars are going to transfer from each of these mains, and these mains go straight to the feature. This is not an alphabet soup type run that I kind of alluded to earlier, where if you transfer for the D, you go to the C. No, you go straight to the feature. So the top 4 in each of these final last chance qualifiers will go into the feature race. And as you mentioned, this is it. This is your final opportunity to make the field, and these races are stacked. Lots of good drivers, lots of cars in them. This first one is going to start 13, and you're only going to get 4. You get an extra 2 laps to do it, but it's still going to be a very, very tall task. It'll be very fun to see how these guys are able to move their way through the field, hopefully with some awesome battling and some good, clean, hard short track racing.
Let's see if Mike, you on your rock yet?
He said he was resetting his computer, so we may get him here in a little bit.
Gotcha. Might have to bring him in here for the feature, but Keith Keith McClellan and the Bud Light machine going to be starting on the pole here. And wasn't there supposed to be a car up high? I think it was Noel Fougier that should be starting up high on him, unless there's another car that's blinked out. But that's what I'm seeing right now is Noel's going to be starting in that second position if everything goes well for him. We saw him using that chrome horn quite a bit in this heat race. Wasn't able to get it done. Let's see if we're going to get it done here. Then we're going to have the 08 of Ethan Miller, the 90 of Craig Kenny, the Andrew Lively ride of the 97. Haven't called his name in a little bit. James Pileski in the 93, and then Brandon Campbell in the 99. And our pace truck is off, and we are green flag racing. Keith McClellan hits the loud pedal, and we are off. The 80 of Ethan Miller hit the inside wall on that start. Maybe he's had a couple Bud Lights that are flying out of that McClellan car. I haven't seen that one yet, but he fires off. Hold on to that third position. How many are we moving on again, Kyle?
We will take the top 4 finishers straight to the feature event. Top 4 finishers will move on. The guys up in the front kind of single filing out right now, and that final transfer spot being held by Andrew Lively, but he's got pressure with Craig Kenny's number 90 car all over the back bumper. James Pileski trying to reel in the number 90, making a 3-car battle for that final transfer early on here in this race, but still single file working their way through. Nice clean start. Everybody's starting to kind of settle their way in, but you can't be too patient. You want to be intelligent, you want to make your moves the right way, but you only have 12 laps to get to where you need to be.
If you're just joining us tonight, you're watching the Consolation races for the Tranquility Online 125. I want to thank them again for hopping on board and sponsoring tonight's races. If you want to find out more about Tranquility Online, go to tranquility.app online. You'll find out more about what they can offer you during these trying times. And whoa, we've got the 80 washed up the track. That's Ethan Miller tapped by Lively. So Lively is going to slide now into third. There you go, guys. That's short track racing right there. A little bit of a bumper, a little bit of a slide, then you fall back a little bit.
We see it often here, this short track racing. We see somebody get bit by it, and we got to see somebody get bit by it right there. But now your leader is under pressure from Noel Fougier. He's been pretty aggressive so far tonight. We're going to see if that follows up as he gets a great exit off of 4, trying to look low for the lead. He breaks early. Going to try to outbreak the 30 here of Keith McClellan, see if he can get under him. He cannot. Keith got a great line there. He's about a half lane up on entry, and that really was working for him, Kyle.
Yeah, indeed it is. Now Fujir's going to get into the back bumper of Keith McClellan, letting him know that he is there, trying to find his way to the number one spot. We're halfway down. 6 laps are in. 6 laps to go here in this first LCQ. Nice battle for the top 2 spots. And then Andrew Lively's number 97 sits comfortably in third, with Craig Kenny currently occupying the final transfer spot. He's got a couple car leaks. Now James Pileski's going to go around, guys. James Pileski spinning out of turn number 4, out of position 5. That is going to put an unfortunate end to his night, as he is not going to transfer after that.
Yeah, kind of doing some burnouts there, trying to refire. And oh, he gets tagged by the number 2. This could bring on a caution, maybe, and that will bring on the caution here. The first caution this evening at the Tranquility 125 Consolation races. So this is going to slow things up just a little bit, as we'll bring an instant replay up here to see exactly what happened to bring out the initial spin. We know it brought out the caution, but what caused that car to spin in turn number 4?
Yeah, I think Paul's going to pull it up for us, see what sent the 93 around. I believe he may have made some contact with, looks like possibly the 80 ride, and then collected some collateral damage behind them there.
I think that
you got a copy down.
Yeah, the looks like the car behind him, that black and green car, had a little bit of help. He got slowed up for the 93, got tagged from the back, and ended up pushing him into the 93. But you can see, like Dylan made mention, kind of spins the tires aggressively here, getting all ticked off, and that's how we all do it. And unfortunately, just came right down into the racing groove, into the 2 car, and got a big hard hit there. So tough break for the 93 and the 2 car.
Kyle, does that hurt seeing the 93 wreck like that?
For those unaware, yes, the 93 is a number that I usually use mostly on my race cars. It's always a bummer when you see somebody, a strong competitor like that, have their night come to an end in such a good position too. He was a little bit of a ways back from Craig Kenny, probably about 6 or 7 car legs only, but was trying to find his way to get closer and move into a transfer position. Unfortunately, that will no longer happen, and Pileski's night is going to come to an end. This will now re-rack the field, get everybody all nice and caught up. Not too sure if we have double or single file restarts. I'm sure we'll figure that out here very, very quickly. But either way, this is going to make the battle for the transfer spots to get into this race even that much more exciting.
Dylan, who uses the chrome horn first, Fujir or Lively?
We kind of saw Andrew there, Legends Racer here in Nova Scotia in the Maritimes, kind of use the chrome horn a little bit. Fujir, love the guy, but he is a smidge aggressive as we are doubling up here for this consolation race. Got 2 more on the way. Want to thank everyone watching tonight on Vidane TV and Tim's Corner Motorsports. Love to see on Facebook and YouTube and Twitch, where are you watching from tonight and who are you cheering on? Got a lot of Canadians, a few Americans watching tonight. Who are you rooting for? Are you rooting for the 30 of McLennan, or we got some Noel Fujir fans? I know we got some Andrew Lively fans watching tonight, as we're going to restart this race with only a few laps to go. Remember, top 4 move on to the big show tonight. That means the 90 would be moving on here, and that is Craig Kenny in that GM Goodwrench scheme. He actually moves up to 3rd here on the restart. We're back, Green Flag Racing.
It is getting heated, 3 wide behind them for 4th. Lively puts the 90 into the wall. The 99, that is. Another car gets set down pit road. I'd be flipping him off for that. And his night is going to be done because of that. White flag is out for the 30 of McClellan. Noel Fujir needs to be smart here. I know you want to win, but you also want to move on. You're in a great spot. Same thing with the 80 and the 90 here. As Fujir looks low, can he get under the 30 for the win? They come off a turn 4. No, he cannot. The 30 of Keith McClellan will be your winner. Noel Fujir will be 2nd, Craig Kenny 3rd, and Ethan Miller 4th. That is rounding out your field that will be moving on. Man, calamity corner there, Kyle, coming to the white flag.
What a wild finish to our first LCQ event. I got to give a quick shout out there to the 99 of Brandon Campbell. I thought he was going to split the middle, run through the field, and force his way into a transfer spot out of nowhere. But unfortunately, he got tagged as part of the initial contact that caused that big crash that sent multiple cars spinning, 1 car flying down pit road, and definitely changed the complexion of that finish. Unfortunately, one of the drivers that saw the worst end of that was Andrew Lively. He was on the inside and unfortunately falls 1 spot short out of transferring. Your transfer cars are Keith McClellan as your winner, Noel Fujir in 2nd, Craig Kinney 3rd, and Ethan Miller grabs that 4th and final transfer spot. They will tag on to the back of tonight's feature event.
Well, how about that, guys? Ethan Miller was the car that got knocked out of line when he was in third, so he charged all the way back to finish fourth. That's all you need to get in the Tranquility Online 125 tonight. Here at Myrtle Beach Speedway, I love this track. It's so unique, again, as we were mentioning, Wes. That first turn comes up pretty quick as you cross the start-finish line, and I think a few drivers are adjusting to that. Now, we did have a street stock race for a special TCM event on Friday evening, but street stocks and super late models, they are two different ball games here.
You are correct. And starting pole for this C main, for you Sesame Street experts, C comes after D when you're going backwards with it, will be a Jarrett Butcher, Ronald McKay in the 03 starting outside second place. And the Kyle Larson lookalike Clover ride will be the 42 of Jordan Rushton. Evan Osborne in the 8 in that cool flannel checkered ride. I bet you his shirts have front left pockets. And then we're going to have the 097 of Riley Duncan. Pretty cool ride there. The 24 of Mark Williams. 05 of Jacob Lawrence. Next to him will be the 23 of Michael Neary. Rounding out your field will be John Gahan in the 16. The 14 of Cadence Frizzle.
Cadence Frizzle.
Frizzle, love it. Paul McCullum, he's going to try to bounce back in that 4 further back, and then Kevin Obley rounding out your field, and Stephen Matthews.
Yeah, bunch of heavy hitters here, and in fact, I just want to throw a little shout out there to Evan Osborne. He had tartan flag design on that number 8, so that's why it looks like it's checkers. There's the flash bulbs. We are green flag racing with Jared Butcher, Pro Stock Racer here in the Maritimes.
Knocks out the 03.
Wow, McKay's all over the track. He can't hold it down as he was knocked out of the way, and now he's at the top of the track facing the wrong way. What an aggressive move on the early get-go, and now we've got even side-by-side racing now for third.
Kyle, I think he held it there, and hopefully the caution came out, and it didn't, but no. Now we have another caution. The 05 of Jacob Lawrence, Kyle, has gone around.
Trouble for the 05 machine of Jacob Lawrence in between turns 1 and 2. Not quite sure exactly
16.
how he ended up back there. Looks like some contact with the 16 car could have potentially caused that. Tight 3-wide action there early on in this C main, and around goes the 05. Multiple other cars getting collected in that. Getting some
Paul McCollum as well. Paul McCollum as well, Kyle, getting on that. Hey, the irony of him getting taken out by the rowdy car. How about that?
Yeah, Paul McCollum, no stranger to sim racing, and no stranger to Wes and I either. We've raced with the McCollum family quite a bit here
11
on the
years,
online
Paul.
racing platform. Yeah, well, it's been a long time where the McCollums have been part of the sim racing family. Obviously, we see Paul McCollum racing here. His son, Alex McCollum, actually a member of the NASCAR Coca-Cola Series, the top tier NASCAR series, racing every other Tuesday night, competing for the $300,000 total purse in that series. So awesome to see those guys continuing to run their sim racing events and seeing how successful they can be. Unfortunately for Paul, not a lot of success here tonight, but he has moved up into the 7th place. He's only 3 spots out of a transfer. We do have a caution right now, so he'll be able to re-rack with the field. He'll start on the inside line, so we'll see if that number 4 car is able to continue to work his way forward and find a transfer into tonight's feature.
Riley Duncan came in there like a wrecking ball on that start. I mean, that means they got a really good start there. Riley Duncan racing from Hampton, New Brunswick. I have faced off against the Hampton hockey team a long time ago when I was an athlete, sort of. Heavy hitters in that part of New Brunswick. So showing off that heavy hitters are still here on the racetrack as well, as they're behind the number 8 of Evan Osborne. As I was mentioning at the start of the show, kind of repping the Nova Scotian tartan, which is a big thing here in this part of Canada. And you can see the design of the Nova Scotia province map there on underneath the 8 as well. And Nova Scotia has been kind of going through a tough time with the tragic shootings last weekend, let alone COVID-19 is going on, and work may be uncertain right now for a few. And that's, in fact, where Tranquility Online will come in. You can check them out online, tranquility.app, to find out more. They specialize in helping out with anxiety. If you're going through a tough go, you can get some certain coaching to help you go through this time. Again, check them out, tranquility.app on the internet.
All right, and we are back green. Jared Butcher takes that green flag, and he's able to lead us down with the whole shot on Jordan Rushton in the 42. That 097 up high, though, trying to hold on to that third position. And there is Evan Osborne in that 8, looking low on the Riley Duncan ride. Can he get there? He's there. He wipes up the track. He's able to hold it. A great car control by the 8, not taking out Riley Duncan there. But back up front, Jared Butcher. Now, Kyle, now you're starting to get used to these guys. You're starting, the 14 of Cadence Fritzl spun out, as well as the 4 of Paul McCollum. They're further in the back entering turn 1. Now, Kyle, you're starting to get familiar with these guys. You've seen them all now race a couple times. What do you think of this league so far?
Well, it's very evident.
05 wrecks to 6. I'm sorry, the 05 just punted the 16 coming out of 4. Punted him like it was 4th and 10. My God. Keep going.
Unfortunate there for the 16 car of Johnny Gahn. So far, we've seen a lot of competitive racing. Lots and lots of fierce
03 self-spin in the 1. 03 self-spin in the 1. Sorry, cutting you off again. This is all over the place.
Let the man talk, man.
Let them. I need them to go straight, turn left, not right.
Well, it's part of the product, guys. We have such a competitive group of drivers. These guys are insanely talented. Unfortunately, we're seeing a lot of the negatives that come with talents, lots of aggression and sometimes lots of accidents. But incredible racing so far. We've got a lot of really, really intense racing. It's been fun to watch. And now that I think we've kind of gotten some of the riffraff calmed down with this, we're left here. Jarrett Butcher looking to cruise to victory and cruise to the feature event. Jordan Rushton, Riley Duncan, Evan Osborne looking to do the same. They've all got a comfortable gap, and it looks like that's what's going to happen, Dylan.
Jared Butcher from the Pro Stock Tour from Porters Lake, Nova Scotia, crosses the start-finish line in first. Jordan Rushton, Riley Duncan finishing third, and Evan Osborne will be moving on to the 125 tonight.
Man, I was sorry to cut off Kyle there so many times. It was just action all over this track, and I wanted to make sure the crowd knew if your favorite driver got turned, you knew it. So, in a couple moments ago, Dylan, I heard you talk. I heard you say used to be an athlete, but not anymore, and then you mentioned heavy, which reminds me of our production guy, Paul Strickland Jr. Paul, what else we got going on the schedule for tonight?
Oh, we're gonna throw out the fat jokes. Roger that. No, we got man, like you said earlier on in the broadcast, this is our third race of 4 today alone. Been a very busy weekend here at Vidane TV, biggest that we've had so far in our 3-week existence. So very, very cool. Tonight, 9 o'clock Eastern, we're going to be watching the East Coast Winter League SK Modifieds racing at Stafford Motor Speedway. And then Wednesday night, we're going to be starting off the New Smyrna World E-Series, and we're going to be running the street stocks at New Smyrna. And then Thursday night, we're going to be checking out the New England Pro iRacing Busch North Series at USA International Speedway. Very cool league. Those guys actually run throwback paint schemes all throughout the field. So really looking forward to a big, jam-packed, huge week of racing here on Vidane TV.
Yeah, we have a lot of racing coming up. Can't wait for that Wednesday join at New Smyrna, kicking off of week 1. Going to bring a large bottle of vodka for that one. But the lights are off right now for the base truck here in Conrad Murphy. That's South Point's Casino. Beautiful Camaro there. Shout out to Brendan Gaughan and his family. Beautiful, beautiful ride. He's going to be starting in that first position. Then John Fitzpatrick and the Canadian Beer, number 78, starting second. And starting third will be the 57 of Jean Baron. Fourth, Mike Rhino in the 34. 122 of Brody Lewis. And then the 108 of Mike Umlaw. So the green flag is out, and we are racing. Conrad Murphy getting that hole shot. He's looking to hit the jackpot tonight. You see what I did there, Kyle? Yep.
Sure did. Great use of words there to promote the South Point Hotel and Casino. Conrad Murphy able to get himself out to a nice jump. We're side by side for second. We're actually going to make contact for second there with John Byron and John Fitzpatrick, third Johns. It'll be Fitzpatrick that clears in to position number 2 off the top of turn 4, and the caution flag has flown for the first time here in LCQ number 3.
Might have something to do possibly with the 11. I see. Oh yes, 11 gets Nevin Scott. He and Brad Eddy make contact further back. Never want to see that. Paul's going to get us that replay, and it's actually quite entertaining. Looks like Brad Eddy. He looks like a Nova Scotia snowplow in the middle of winter.
looking at it right now, slow motion, it's just two guys looking for the same piece of real estate. You see the 6 gets pushed down underneath those rumble strips. Really just nowhere to go. He's trying to stay in the racing lane, and the 11 just happened to be there. So two guys going for the same piece of real estate, and, well, unfortunately, they both end up in that inside pit road wall.
You never want inside a wall like that, Dylan. So, Dylan, tell us a little bit about you. We understand you're from Canada. We understand that you used to be an athlete. And you got a lot of information on these guys. Tell these Vidane viewers that may not know much about you, let us know who you is.
Who I am? Well, Vidane viewers, I am a radio broadcaster by trade. I work at a country radio station here in Nova Scotia, Canada, specifically in the town of Bridgewater. And I'm also the track announcer at Riverside International Speedway, which is celebrating 51 strong years. A third of a mile track with high banks, aimed to look like a mini Bristol, as well as a little dirt track in the Annapolis Valley called Valley Raceway, whereas I got my beginnings announcing racing, been a lifelong NASCAR fan. For some reason, they said, hey, you like racing, you want to announce the races? And I've been doing it ever since, and privileged to be joining you guys and my good buddy Tim Terry for putting these on as well. And Tim's given me the chance to announce at Riverside before I worked there, and as well at Scotia Speed World just outside the airport. And I know we got a lot of Maritimers and Atlantic Canadians watching tonight as well. Just want to say hey to all of you for sticking around and checking out all these races. And the new American friends that I'm making here watching, or wherever the heck you're watching Vidane TV, whether it's on Twitch or YouTube, you know, it's you guys are cranking out some good product. I mean, I was showing off the race we did yesterday because the girlfriend and I were checking out the esports event NASCAR did today, and she goes, it looks pretty real. And I said, you want to see something even better? We checked out that USA International race, and aside from the crowd kind of glitching a little bit, the track and the cars, they look as real as you can get.
You know, I gotta say, Dylan, with everything that's going on, it's super awesome to be able to have this opportunity to enjoy our passion for racing through the online sim racing platform, whether it be iRacing or other things that are out there. Of course, we all want to get back to the real racetrack, and we want that to happen as soon as possible. But the one thing that I've been thinking myself is I really hope that this is something that doesn't completely die away. Obviously, racing season isn't a year-round thing. We do, especially for you guys up in Canada. I can feel it here in New York. We only get a very limited amount of time to race when the weather's nice. So I'm hoping that once things get back to normal, we can get back to our racetracks and have some outdoor fun. Once those winter months come back, this can kind of ramp up, and we can pick up where we leave off once this pandemic ends.
Yeah, it's not a bad idea for sure. And there is one race going on tonight in South Dakota. They're racing there, COVID be darned, with no fans, but they're doing their own thing tonight. And
Dylan, there's nobody that lives in South Dakota. You can't catch COVID if you don't live there.
There's bison there. That's what I've learned with some movies like Dances with Wolves. And we're dancing and flirting with disaster tonight. It's the last chance qualifier. And there is Conrad Murphy on the hammer, and he slams it down to get in front right away. John Byron, he gets a little loose there in turn number 1. I was just going to say he looked like he was going to slam right into second, but cars are slamming into each other there in the backstretch.
Oh, man, Mike Rhino gave him the bumper, and he said, my name is Rhino for a reason. I'm going through you. I want this position, and he takes it for P3. Now John Perron is under fire from the 141 to the 122, and they go around. Big wreck on the 51 flips. Holy barnacles. There are cars flying everywhere. The 51 says, I believe I can fly, and now is on his roof at the entry of pit road. Oh, my R. Kelly. There is just carnage everywhere. My Lord.
Nasty crashed here in the final last chance qualifier, getting the replay rolled up here. Paul, that was a pretty nasty one. Very wild. Talk us through that there from what you were able to capture.
The instant replay up now, pushing the wrong button. That'll slow down the process.
Come on, Paul.
It's a rookie mistake. You gotta give me a break here.
That's all right.
We're gonna take a look. The instant replay got it queued up, got it paused here, and we'll show you what happened in slow motion.
I want an in-car view at one point of the 57. Give me an in-car view of the 57 at one point.
You can see there's just calamity all over the place.
Woo!
141, 108, the 6 is involved. Eddie's involved. 108, just calamity all over the place. And we'll take a look. He said it was a 57. There he is, upside down on his roof. We'll back that up. I didn't even see that on the actual. Oh, that was a hard hit with the barrel. We'll do that. We'll do that real time.
Wow.
Oh, that made me pucker up.
Oh yeah, that's definitely at least a 7 on the pucker scale. Pull it up here in the cockpit.
Yeah, it kind of looked like Jeff Gordon's wreck earlier today at Talladega. So this is on board John Byron from Cape Breton, and yeah, he gets a little loose there. He's able to nearly hang on. Then he's along for the ride. It's like the old rock and roll at the county fair. Then he lands on his roof, and that is not fun to be there.
Paul, there's one more I want you to get on board on from starting in the third in Tier 3. It's Colin Matthews in the 65. We have to ride on board with Colin Matthews in the 65, and someone get him a new pair of pants because he's going to need.
Yeah, we're taking a look at it here. Everything just opens up to the inside and skates his way through, and now he's only one spot away from a transfer. So that incident happening gives him a great opportunity to qualify for tonight's 125 lap feature after all this is said and done. Look at that. Great.
Wow, he avoided 2 cars there. Sorry to interrupt there, buddy, but I didn't realize that he avoided 2 cars coming at him. Luck be a lady tonight.
See why I got moist? We had to see that, guys. That was a heck of a job there.
Colin Matthews, yeah, you may want to buy some lottery tickets for the Lotto Max draw if you're old enough coming up on Tuesday. So that will throw in the 65 and 5th, Conrad Murphy, John Fitzpatrick, Mike Rhino, Ryan Walsh from Newfoundland, and there in the 5th position, Colin Matthews. And you said it there, we have a new car, I should say, that has came all the way from the back, avoided disaster, Kyle, and now they have a chance to make the 125 lapper coming up.
Yeah, this definitely shakes up the field and gives some guys new hope and new light. Pace truck ducking down. This will be the first attempt at a green-white-checkered finish. We're going to try to get this one done as quickly as possible and under the green flag. Pace cars off, loud pedals are pressed, and Conrad Murphy leaving the field in his dust. We're side by side for second with John Fitzpatrick and Mike Rhino, and currently Ryan Walsh, after losing that position earlier on in the race, now has it back as more cars slam the outside wall on the back stretch.
Man, This is just an action-packed race here, Dylan. Just a couple laps to go here. As we coming across the line to take it should be at this point.
One to go.
This
You got it there, and that's Conrad Murphy in the 89 in front, and looks like your top 4 are far away from everybody else. Conrad Murphy, John Fitzpatrick, Mike Rhino, and Ryan Walsh from Conception Bay South in Newfoundland. Moving on to the big show tonight, the Tranquility Online 125. Conrad Murphy gets her done.
Colin Matthews so far yet so close yet so far away there. He was able to miss that big one, but just a little short there for him, and it stinks because I'm sure he got his hopes up there, and they wasn't working out. So I believe we have a national anthem coming up, boys. Let's stand around.
Okay, folks, we'll get ready for the national anthem here. If you're able to, would you please rise for singing of "O Canada"?
O Canada, our home and native land, true patriot love in all of us command. Quand bras se porte l'épée, il se porte la croix.
From far and wide, oh Canada, we stand on guard for thee. God keep our land glorious and free. Oh, Canada, we stand on guard for thee. Oh, Canada, we stand on guard for thee. Drivers, start your engines.
Living with anxiety or depression can make everyday situations and interactions seem impossible, and getting the right help can be expensive and inconvenient. We're changing that with Tranquility. Our program follows the highly effective gold standard, cognitive behavioral therapy, which helps people change negative thoughts and unhelpful behaviors by teaching them skills to practice in real life. Using Tranquility is convenient. You can move at your own pace from your phone or computer, and you don't have to do it alone. Your one-on-one coach is there to help keep you motivated and supported all the way through. If you're ready to unlock the tools you need to approach the day with confidence, visit tranquility.app to sign up for a free trial.
All right, beautiful rendition of the Canadian national anthem, and we are back here at Myrtle Beach Speedway, and that was the Canadian national anthem, right?
It was a combo of different racetracks here in the Maritimes, including Noel Fougier, who is racing tonight. So that's pretty cool.
See the young kid with the blonde, like the kind of spiked up hair, short hair.
Yeah, and you know who is standing behind him in his handsome jacket?
Daddy's Money Daniel Dye?
No, me.
Oh man! Oh, I thought. Okay. I love the jacket. Looks like a little cold up there. What was it? July?
That was July, and even on a July night here in Nova Scotia, it kind of dips around 10 degrees and sometimes even cooler. And it's cool of all of you being here tonight watching the Tranquility Online 125. Ryan Messer scored the pole this evening here at Myrtle Beach. That's why we didn't see him race in the heat races. When you get the pole, you've earned it. In fact, he's got some new colors on that number one. I know we've got a lot of Ryan Messer fans watching this evening. In fact, Ryan has already visited Victory Lane once this week. He won the invitational event for Atlanta, Canada from Martinsville on Tuesday night, ran a spectacular race. He is starting P1 side-by-side with Corey Hall.
All right, and I just got some word that there might have been some intentional wrecking in that Conti race that
no,
going to have to look at. So, unfortunately, you're going to get that at short track race, and tempers going to boil over, and that might have some implications in the points. So, we'll try to get past that, and I'm sure Tim's Corner will be able to update you that on Facebook. If you are watching us on Facebook, hit that like button. If you're watching us on Vidane TV on YouTube, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. We always got a lot of racing here. We are here to bring you your fix. Your fix for racing is found right here at Vidane TV. All right, ladies and gentlemen. Starting up front will be Ryan Messer in that number one. Starting second will be Corey Hall in the 83. Starting third will be Danny Chisholm in the 87. Let's see if we can go back to back. Starting fourth will be Josh Langille. Starting a fifth is going to be the 9 of Craig McDonald. Starting sixth, that 15 of Matthew Barkhouse. Starting seventh, the 75 of Mark Alexander. He has a ways to go if he plans on blowing the lead this race. Starting eighth will be Nick Codner in the 43. Starting ninth will be Travis Roma in the 38. Rounding out your top 10 is the 00 of Ricky Arbo, as we are about to go green flag racing for 125 laps here at Tim's Corner Motorsports, Myrtle Beach Speedway. Get on your feet. Green flag racing. It is Ryan Messer with the whole shot on Corey Hall. They dive down into 1 and 2 with stacking up behind them is Danny Chisholm. On the outside is Josh Langille out of 2. Under him is a 9 of Craig McDonald. Kyle.
Side-by-side battle continues for position number 4 with Craig McDonald and Josh Langille. A great run off the top.
Oh, Langille!
Makes contact with the inside wall. No caution as of yet. He's backing his way back onto the racing surface. Everybody has cleared. No caution.
Another wreck, boys. We got another wreck. They're wrecking everywhere. The 43 and the 30 of Keith McClellan and Codner get together. They get it back rolling. Man, oh man, 125 laps of this? I need to get a bigger bottle of water. This is crazy.
It's a Sunday night special here at Myrtle Beach for the Tranquility Online 125, and as we saw, a few cars already taken out from the top spot, including Josh Langille after a little contact with another car, so that's how it can go here with some short track racing as we're watching John Fitzpatrick and Keith McLennan duking it out there a little further back in the field. We have the number one in the number one slot, Ryan Messer. He is about maybe 2 seconds in front of Danny Chisholm. Danny Chisholm, who won yesterday, has his work cut out for him already with 5 in.
Is disconnected. The leader just got disconnected, ladies and gentlemen. He just lost connection. He's all over the track. He's everywhere. And what is going on? And now he's back, like Houdini.
I don't know, Ryan.
It's not the acid, guys. I promise you.
I don't know Ryan to be a magician when he's not racing, but either way, so the one has landed back on the track with Danny Chisholm and Mike Alexander. Yeah, when he was kind of flickering, I was a little lost for words, confused what was going on. We've got things straight away here. There's Mike Alexander in the 75, and Wes, we saw some heartbreak with the 75 as he dominated that race yesterday at USA International, decided to make a pit stop. Didn't work out in his favor. He still landed in the top 5, but did not get that most important W.
And yesterday showed us that you can lead every single lap and lose it with 10 to go. None of these laps are predictions of what's going to happen at the end of this race unless you're taken out, and then that's a great prediction. The old saying of you can't win it on turn 1, but you can lose it on turn 1, lap 1 is completely relevant and factual when it comes to short track racing here, Kyle.
Yeah, absolutely, Wes. And unfortunately, we did see some of those guys see that fate early on here in the Tranquility Online 125. Checking out things here on the number 15 machine of Matthew Barkhouse. He's got a side-by-side battle going with, I believe that's the 33 of Brett Suggs. And just behind him is Ricky Arbo. Indeed, it is Brett Suggs on the outside of Barkhouse in the 15 car. He's going to get the advantage coming off at the top of turn 2 and will clear and win that battle.
Caution's out.
Flag has flown for the first time.
All right, trying to see what it could have been. It looks like the 42 of Jordan Rushton looks like was involved in it, and Paul's going to get us a replay. But the 42 was involved. It looks like the 41 was involved. The 41 might have met the Butcher going into turn 1. That may have been the initial start of it. That 41 of Jason Goss. I believe Paul is getting us a replay as we speak of the carnage.
Carnage it is. An unfortunate event here for the 42 Clover car. Take a look at it in slow motion. You can see he heads on down into turn number 1, and he's up in that little bit higher groove there. But
the 41
right
of Goss got tagged by.
See that as I was rewinding it. So the 41 gets turned, and the 42 just had nowhere to go because he was running in that line. We'll back that up again here on the 41 car. See exactly. It looks like he gets a shot from the 53. And just didn't even hit the brakes at 53. Did right on into the quarter panel with 41. So tough break for the 41 and the 42.
Yeah, Goss and the 53 tangling up, and I believe that's going to throw the 53 of Cole Butcher to the back as it's no-fault cautions here on this iRacing event tonight. One thing to note as well, besides the repairs, as we can see the 41 of Goss from Newfoundland getting some repairs done. Incident cap points. That is a point system where if you slam in too much to one person, you're going to get some points accumulated against yourself. It's 4 for contact, whether you're taking it or you're giving it. 18 will give you a black flag. After that, you are done for the night.
You know, one thing I just want to quickly mention here, guys, I don't know if it had anything to do with what Wes had said about the intentional wrecking and some of the consistencies, or if it had something to do with those first lap incidents there. But we do have an early retiree from this event. That's the 77 machine of Mark D'Entremont. I did see that he was given a black flag shortly after all of that calamity had come down, and he has since pulled it behind the inside wall and appears to be out of his number 77 machine. So he will be the first retiree of the event. Just figured I'd make that note for all the Mark D'Entremont fans out there. The 41 and 42 cars that were just involved in that previous caution, those guys have fallen off at the lead lap, as well as Corey Hall. The remaining 24 cars stay on the lead lap as we click off lap 13 here under our first yellow.
So what do you think so far, Kyle? You like the racing here?
I do. As I was kind of alluding to during those LCQs, we got a lot of fast competitors here. Some names that I'm familiar with that it's nice to see back in the sim racing world or continuing to be in the sim racing world. And it's also cool to see some racing here at Myrtle Beach. I usually don't interact with this racetrack too much, so it's awesome to have an opportunity to watch the racing here, get to see some awesome super late models and a really competitive field. I think it's been a nice introduction to this series and getting associated here with TCM.
All right, you picked a good series to call here tonight with us. This is a start of a doubleheader on the PM side of things for us as we are back green here at Vidane TV, Myrtle Beach Speedway. We're with Tim's Corner Motorsports. Ryan Messer's been the class of the field so far with the 87 of Chisholm not far behind. The battle there is for third. Mike Alexander almost leans on Brett Suck there in the 33. all four of these guys are no stranger to each other's bumpers. We've seen them in the past, Dylan, run just as hard.
They're running hard and running strong here. And Kyle, since you're getting introduced to everything, you know a few drivers here. Here's kind of the mix of what they actually race in real life. Ryan Messer, sportsman racer. We have Danny Chisholm, Bandolero and Legends driver. Brett Suggs, a super truck driver, I understand, in North Carolina. Four-cylinder driver, Mike Alexander. Ricky Arbeau, I believe, is a street stock driver, maybe a sportsman. I am not super familiar with him. But it's a different mix of all kinds of drivers here, which is super cool to see. And there's Matthew Barkhouse, and actually teammate and brother to Mike Alexander, driving a four-cylinder as well. So it's super cool seeing him in the iRacing super late models tonight, as it's mostly single file up front, with Ryan Messer still dominating 19 laps in to the Tranquility Online 125.
Quick note, guys. The leader has been given a warning for bad connection, for warp, for glitching in and out like we saw from the 77 before. That 77 was actually black flagged and told you can come back in this race once your connection gets better. Not sure if we've seen him back out on here, but a warning has been given out to the one of Ryan Messer. If his connection does not get better, he may get parked. So that's a storyline all on its own, something he has no control of.
Yeah, for sure, Wes. And that, as we've mentioned in the past before, that makes it really tough for his competitors around. Danny Chisholm, we know how competitive and how strong he is. He's starting to reel in Ryan Messer, and obviously he's going to want to try to battle for the lead. And those issues are going to make it very difficult. You don't want to take him out. You don't want to put Ryan at a disadvantage trying to take the lead away from him. And as Dylan had just said, with no fault caution, if he does get into Ryan Messer, that could ruin his race as well, because he'll probably be sent to the back for turning him too.
Now, one thing we saw yesterday at the race at USA International for Petty Raceway for their esports series, we had a long green flag stretch, which went pretty much until about 10 to go, and that's when the leaders decided to take the risk to get some tires. I'm wondering, and it really just depends on where the cautions lie tonight, when are the tires going to have to be changed, or if we have a complete long stretch of green flag racing, how bad are the tires going to be towards the end, as Ryan Messer is still holding down the fort. His connection seems to have stabilized. Maybe he's told the family to stop streaming Netflix for a bit. Whoa, but he gets a little loose there in going towards the back stretch. That opened the door a little bit for Danny Chisholm. Danny starting to reel in the number one.
That's the opening Danny wanted to see. And speaking of warp, the 19 also got a warning on that. We'll keep an eye on that as well. But Chisholm now right on the back bumper of the one, and he's been there quite a bit, just waiting for one little slip up. He can take this lead, but as you were talking about,
caution.
Caution's out. Caution is out.
We have multiple cars that are spun around in turn making contact under caution, guys. Still making contact is Ryan Walsh piling into the number 9 and Craig McDonald. After the fact. I have no idea what that was all about. Actually, it's like McDonald was trying to back up onto the racetrack, and Ryan Walsh had nowhere to go. Josh Langille also making contact afterwards. So a huge mess for caution.
Paul, you're going to have to rewind it way back, about almost a lap. The 519 and the 9 get together coming out of turn 4. And it almost looked like the 519 made sure that he was going to collect the 9 in this incident. A little bit, it looked like casual contact, and then the 9 got taken out, and they just kept on wrecking from there. As Paul's going to get you the replay of that. The 53 wrecked the 90 after that, which takes out the 9 again, and then the 9 gets together with the 519 again. So, man, tempers are flaring here, Kyle.
Yeah, I'm seeing the same thing here, Wes. The contact started just coming off of turn number 2. They spun around in turn 3, and then it looks like everybody starts getting going again. There's another incident with the 90 and the 53. That's what put Craig McDonald down on the inside wall like we saw, and then he backs up onto the racetrack. We got the replay of the initial incident that happened in turn 3 up right now. You see the 9 of McDonald up into the outside wall, the 519 of Ryan Walsh into the outside wall. Not sure if we can jump over quickly to the 53 car. He had gotten
while we're watching this, Paul. While we're watching this, Paul, we have league admin Tim Terry in the booth real fast. Tim, a lot of action there between the 519 and the 9. What is going on between those two drivers? Mr. Terry, you got a copy for us, buddy? He may be a little busy for us. Mr. Terry, you got a copy?
No, Tim's having a deep breath. I don't see him in our production trailer, so I'm sure Tim is certainly trying to get this thing organized. As we're watching the replays here, and just cars are just piling into each other here. And right before that, guys, we had Danny Chisholm almost grabbing the lead from Ryan Messer right before the caution came out. Danny had the nose underneath the number 1, and with this restart, I'm assuming Danny's going to start on the outside. I'm wondering how Danny's going to approach turn number 1. Is he going to really send it to try and take the lead, or will he try and conserve those tires?
I'm going to try to get a quick word with him there, just really quickly. Tim, you got a second?
Barely. What's up?
Hey, what's going on with the 9 and the 519 there?
We're trying to figure that out right now.
All right, we'll put him back down there. He's going to try to figure it out. Not enough information yet. We're going to let him do his thing, and I'm sure we're going to get the word as it comes through. So keep all lines of communication open. But man, Kyle, welcome to Tim's Corner Motorsports. Welcome to Myrtle Beach Speedway, and welcome to some great late model action filled with nothing but action.
Now, fellas, sorry to cut in there. Look who's not in the lead anymore. The number 1. Ryan Messer. I'm wondering if that internet finally conked out on him.
Wow, he is further in the back, guys. He is further in the back. He is 19th. No damage. Kyle, I think that might have been an internet issue.
Yeah, I'm not too sure what's up with that. I was just looking through the server here. Doesn't look like he was given any type of penalty for that connection. And I wasn't paying attention either to see if he had jumped down onto pit road. But either way, he has lost the lead.
Pit road.
It was a pit stop. Okay, good to know. Ryan Messer, a couple Ryans in here. Ryan Messer made a pit stop out of that caution, so he'll drop back further in the field. We'll see if he's able to work his way back up forward. That will give the lead to Danny Chisholm as he clicks off lap number 31. Brett Suggs is your second place driver with Ricky Arbo, Mike Alexander, and Travis Roma, the top 5. Everybody's single file in that top 5. You got a side-by-side battle for 6th. That is the 12 of Sam Rogers and the 36 of Noel Fragier. Fragier had to come from one of the LCQs, and he's already has worked his way inside the top 10, knocking on a top 5 spot. Just dropped from 6th to 7th. Sam Rogers takes that position over. But that 36 car, Dylan, he's been strong all night and looking good right now early in this feature.
He's got a rocket underneath that 36 in West. Really, what's old is new again. Look at your top 3. Danny Chisholm, Brett Suggs, Ricky Arbo. Those drivers were all battling for the win yesterday afternoon. And now Ricky Arbo's got fresher tires underneath the 00, putting some pressure on one of the Americans racing here tonight, Brett Suggs down in North Carolina.
Cream typically rises to the top. I'm keeping my eye on this one car. I'll tell you what, he has a gaggle in front of him of race machines as he's trying to work the bottom line. The leader with fresh tires just trying to plow his way through. I'm starting to think as we're on board with him, if that was a strategy call, how much of your tires are you going to wear up and just wear on by the time you would get back to the front? So if that was a strategy call, I myself wouldn't have made that, because you're going to use up all that fresh rubber trying to get through this huge pack of cars here in front of you. And he, of course, he looks like he's fast. He's definitely faster than the cars in front of him, but it's not that easy to get around them as it is just to get to their bumper here, Kyle.
Well, the one thing to notice, too, is I just saw that he's got a little bit of left front fender damage on that number 1 car, so he's been into something recently. You got to be careful with that stuff. He obviously wants to work his way through the field. He knows he has a fast race car. A bit of a wiggle there coming off of turn number 2, losing some momentum, but you need to also be patient. He's got 80-some-odd laps here to make the charge all the way up through. Wants to be competitive, but also has to be smart and avoid the riffraff.
Yeah, that's a real tough go there for the one of Ryan Messer. Guys, I'm wondering if he made contact with one of the cars that was spinning on that caution. I mean, we had cars scattered everywhere, and they were sliding in front of the leaders, unfortunately. So I'm wondering if there was a little contact, and he figured, you know what, maybe I should get the tires all straightened out here after maybe making some incidental contact. Or it could be a strategy thing. I kind of agree with you, Wes. I think it's maybe a smidge early to throw on fresh tires, but maybe Ryan knows something more than we do here. Ryan Messer, of course, racing out of Harvey, New Brunswick, and he's got a load of cars in front of him as Danny Chisholm is still leading the show at Brett Suggs and Ricky Arbo trailing behind. And I think we got a spinner almost at the top of turn 2. No, in fact, I think maybe the 19 was sliding but saved it partly.
I'm looking back here. I wanted to bring back the tape, and the one didn't get into that big accident that we saw, so no clue where that damage could have came from. Not a clue, but right now he's 3 wide with a 34 in the 097. They're 3 wide ahead of him. Now they're, the 54's around. He just loops it, saves it. He's all over the place playing pinball, and the one is caught up in it. The one is caught up, and he is spinning. Big accident in the back. We see it again, Dylan, where the leader pits and gets taken out. Dylan, when will they learn?
Oh man, I've almost lost for words there. That was a tough go. Jared Butcher was beat around there like a baseball on opening day, and we'll bring the replay up here to see exactly what happened. And that was the thing. He being Ryan Messer, had 2 lanes of 3 wide racing in front of him. If I was him, I would have been freaking out trying to get around them. Unfortunately, he was taken out here, as we're going to bring up the replay, Paul.
Yeah, Calamity Corner with this this whole replay. We're actually going to take a look at this from the Goodyear blimp, and we're going to look at it in slow motion just so you can take a quick look. You see the 54 up high in the front there. He kind of dives down low, and no harm, no foul until he gets to that 19, turns himself across the 19. 30 car, he makes his way around the top. They make contact in the second row there. 54 bout loses it again, bounces it up to 34.
Guys, our leader, Danny Chisholm, has left the server.
Interesting. But you can see the one car gets collected and spun around like a top. A lot of damaged race cars here. And apparently our leader has disconnected, but that gives the old lead over to that very familiar number 75, Mike Alexander.
Guys, I just checked it out on the replay. Danny's probably not going to want us to talk about this. He piled into the pit road tires, and so did Brett Suggs. God. The top 2 piled into the pit road tires. I don't know if they were trying to fake pit or what they were trying to. I think they were trying to fake pit, and they just horribly missed.
The top 2 just I'm lost for words.
Hold on. Oh my word.
Themselves. They just wrecked themselves trying.
What? So, okay, we got to see this here. So let's start it up here on board. Oh my goodness. Danny Chisholm tried faking out at the last second and was a bit too late. But I'm wondering how much damage is on the 33 here, guys.
Brain damage or car damage? Because I don't feel like the guy in the right sense of mind is hitting some barriers man. On his own like that.
Well, and the thing is, I think with the 33, he probably would have cut up, but then you've got the 87 stuck there, so he was either going to have to go down pit road. I don't know why he just wouldn't have gone down pit road. Ricky Arbo avoids disaster, though, and he lands in pit road.
Kyle, welcome to Myrtle Beach Speedway. And to those that are watching, I hope you guys are entertained, because we're entertained here in the booth. Feel free to chat with us here in the chat. We see Gary Carpet said, "Be smart, Danny." I think that was at 8 o'clock, so that was 6 minutes ago. He was not smart, Danny. I'm going to give you an update. He was not smart. Ryan T on YouTube says that is not smart. Nope, Danny was not being smart. He was being the opposite of smart. I'll let you put 2 and 2 together there. We're about to go green, and Dylan, look who's up front.
Yeah, there is the 75 of Mike Alexander. So there may be the chance for him to win handed to him on a silver platter. And that was kind of crazy, and not even kind of crazy, really crazy. I'm sure we have a lot of upset Ryan Messer fans and Danny Chisholm fans and Brett Suggs fans. But there you go. The top 3, at least at one point during the race, are all washed out now. It's a luck of the draw here, and things are mixed up with Mike Alexander, Travis Roma, Sam Rogers, all getting the green flag. Lap 48 of the Tranquility Online 125 at Myrtle Beach.
Mike Alexander will open up a nice lead off the restart. The side-by-side battle for second will now be won by Travis Roma. He's going to push up coming off of turn number 4. That'll give an opportunity for Sam Rogers to look low. He does not do it. No Fujir looking to maybe get around the outside of the 12, but he falls in line. That put him up into the top 5 after all that calamity that happened under the caution flag. We're all single file now throughout the top 5. A little bit of a kiss to the back bumper is Sam Rogers giving it to Travis Roma. He sneaks underneath of him. Will try to dive down underneath even further into turn number 1. Roma gives him plenty of space, and that will allow Sam Rogers to pull just about even as they come off at turn 2.
Kyle and Wes, I got some information about what happened to Danny Chisholm. Apparently, Danny's steering wheel disconnected.
I've used that excuse too.
Well, hey, I'm not there. That's just what's being thrown out on the comment section.
I seen him turning left and right with no problem whatsoever. Danny, you're going to have to tell somebody else that, because I got some oceanfront property for sale in Arizona, buddy. It's happened to the best of us, Danny. Sucks to hear that. We'll see you next week. Oh, boy. Oh, boy. Oh, boy. We're back up front. It is a great battle, actually. The 12 of Sam Rogers moves to 38 of Travis Roma up the track. He's trying to get the leads on him, pushes him up the track, does Rogers. Roma falls back. A little bit of short track bump and run action there. We've seen a little bit of that earlier this afternoon as well, Kyle. And that opens up the door for Noel Fougere.
Yeah, Wes, I was starting to think that Sam Rogers was getting a little frustrated and a little impatient with Travis Roma. He was trying to race him clean side by side, couldn't make it happen, and got more and more aggressive with the bumper, and now he's clear of that battle, and Fougere found the opportunity to try to get underneath as well, and is working with Travis Roma. Roma's actually making that topside work quite well here, Dylan. The track starting to come in and get really racy. A lot of the times with these short tracks, you just assume that the bottom's the place to be, but Travis Roma's showing that the outside's got a little bit of fight in it.
Well, as you
Here
can
the
see,
38 are bouncing off each other, Dylan. Keep an eye on this one.
well, for sure, and as you can kind of tell, race fans, we're racing at nighttime now. When the heat races were going on, it was earlier in the evening here with iRacing time. Noel Fougere, an anthem singer, young gun, and side by side with sportsman driver Travis Roma. And yeah, Kyle, that top lane is starting to develop for the 38, still holding his own, battling for that third position up in front. It's still Mike Alexander and Sam Rogers, a Legends racer in that number 12. Now we've also got a few other cars, including Fitzpatrick, sticking their nose in their battle here as we're on board with the 36 of Noel Fougere. And look at that pack of cars right behind, watching these two duke it out here for third.
Laps go the 00. Ricky Arbo got sent high and wide into the wall. He got turned around, but he was able to get it back up and going. For the Ricky Arbo fans, he's not having too good of a race as he's stuck back in P18, not doing too well, but hopefully he can get his ride back together. Ryan Messer in the one machine. If you are following him, he led majority of the first quarter of this race. He is sitting P19 with nowhere to go. Tons of damage to that ride after getting caught up in an incident after pitting for we don't know why. Go back in the pack, and the caution is out. Caution is out. Got another big one, including the 8, the 30, and more.
Multiple cars piling up on the inside of the backstretch wall to bring out the caution flag once again. We'll get the replay pulled up on that one and see what happens.
33 is Suggs again, Kyle.
Yeah, it is. Brett Suggs, his night goes from bad to worse. He gets collected up in this one. The 30 machine of Keith McClellan is in it. The 8 car is involved. Paul, take us through it. What happened?
Looking right now, you can see the 8 car kind of comes down and gets the 34 in the back. And as he checks up, that Bud Light 30 car gets into the back of him, and it just collects the 33 of Suggs. So tough break there. Hard hits. You can see smoke coming out, tire smoke, engine smoke, all sorts of smoke coming out of those cars. So definitely tough break for those guys. A lot of damaged race cars.
This has been a crazy race, and we're not even halfway through. We've seen a leader pit. We've seen the leader slam into the tires. We've seen second place follow up and slam into them. And now we've got Mike Alexander, who has finished second a number of times here in these special TCM events, winning eventually last week, but now he is in first. He was in first yesterday, though. He hasn't made a pit stop yet. Gotta wonder, when is that coming up for the 75?
All right, Dylan. And while we're under caution here, tell us a little bit about who we have on board, Tranquility.
Absolutely. So Tranquility, want to thank them again for hopping on here to sponsor tonight's race and also next Sunday. And Tranquility is an app to help out if you're feeling a bit anxious, stressed, or whatever it is, whether it's health, financial, uncertainty, social isolation, and other issues. And frankly, this is a time where a lot of stress is on a lot of Canadians and Americans as well, not restricted to Canadians with COVID-19 going on. If you're looking for more information about the Tranquility app, which we saw the little commercial before we got underway here, please check out their website, tranquility.app, to find out more. Help for anxiety is only a click away. Check them out again, tranquility.app, and we can't thank them enough for supporting short track racing here tonight.
Sounds like a great organization. You said that's an app, Dylan? Dylan, you said that Tranquility has an application like for your phone? Anybody got a copy? Kyle, you got it?
I do gotcha. I guess Dylan decided to step away very, very quickly after giving us that wonderful information about our race sponsor, Tranquility Online. We had a number of cars come down pit road during this caution flag. The 78 machine of John Fitzpatrick was one of them. No Fugier also came down pit road, so we got some of our front runners on fresh rubber further back in the field. I did notice, just quickly before we go green here, a few laps before that caution, things did get worse for Ryan Messer. He spun out in turn number 4. I don't think he had any contact for it. The caution didn't come out, but he did take a spin during that green flag run. Wes, I'll send it back to you as we get ready to go here. We're halfway once this green falls.
Mike Alexander gets a start that he wanted. Really strong start by Alexander. He's able to get the whole shot on Sam Rogers going down into 1. Matthew Barkhouse is sitting P3. We've seen him run really strong in his heat race, but the battle for 4th heats up of Travis Roma battling on the inside of the 43 here of Nick Conner. All right, I'm not too sure what happened to Dylan. Dylan, if you can hear us, we cannot hear you. Please call back and we will get to you as soon as possible. Thank you very much. They're still single file up front, all 3 of them. Mike Alexander putting a little bit of a gap on them. Now the closest battle is going to be the 80 of Ethan Miller. He's battling on the outside. He's going where they are not, trying to make up some spots. He's under fire from Jared Butcher in the 54.
Yeah, he's the newest contestant to the Top Line show, trying to find some momentum, some grips, something. He'll fall back in line behind the 54 of Jared Butcher, settle himself into position number 9, it looks like, while they continue to fight side by side behind him. We're riding on board with the 80 machine of Ethan Miller as they enter turns 1 and 2. He now has a contestant from John Fitzpatrick on the outside. And Fitzpatrick, I just mentioned, he was on pit road during that previous caution flag. He's got fresh tires. I believe Mike Rhino is doing the same. And look at all the cars freight training Ethan Miller on the outside. Now they're going to look 3 wide as the 57 car going to shoot it down to the inside. They make contact and push up into Josh Langille, beating and banging in turns 1 and 2. There's more contact and Langille's into the wall. Ethan Miller goes into the wall, and now he is turned down the back straightaway hard into the inside wall. The caution flag flies once again, and Ethan Miller's night goes negative in a very, very fast way. He was getting freight trained, he gets put into the wall, he gets turned, and now he has significant damage to his number 80 machine.
And ladies and gentlemen, this race is also brought to you by Wreckfest. Wreckfest the game. This is the iRacing version of Wreckfest, called late models at Myrtle Beach Speedway on a beautiful Sunday night.
Well,
Kyle, that was crazy. Oh, do we got Dylan? Are you back? Are you back from the...
I picked a great time to come back here. Sorry, everyone. My internet conked out for just a second, kind of like Ryan Messer and a few other drivers here tonight. Apologize if I was reading the Tranquility ad read there and stopped talking. Check out their app, tranquility.app on the internet. And yeah, as soon as I come back, I see the 80 of Ethan Miller get T-boned by Evan Osborne, the 8. Wow. Things have certainly turned into quite a wreck fest here quickly.
And just a little bit of information when it comes to fast repairs, or better known as resets. There are none here, meaning you have what you have. If your car is beat up, it is beat up. So bad, so sad. Nothing we can do about it. You can go in and fix the damage that there is, but some leagues run resets where you go down pit road and get a brand new car. You might see that on Sundays through Podium with the NASCAR guys. Well, NASCAR guys need resets. Most of us normal iRacers do not. But maybe I'm being proven wrong with this race tonight. Did you end up getting a replay there for us? All right, we already got the replay out of the way. Sorry, was not keeping a close eye on there, but we do have the lucky dog coming on up in the 19 of Jonathan Pollard. He makes his way around, get back on the lead lap. And of course, if you are watching on Vidane TV, hit that subscribe button. If you're watching on Vidane TV on Facebook, hit that like button and follow us. Same thing with Tim's Corner Motorsports on Facebook. Go ahead and like that. If you're watching on Twitch, subscribe to that. We are bringing you action right now 5 days a week, basically Wednesday through Sunday, here on Vidane TV at all times of the day. We got another one coming at you tonight at 9 o'clock. And Paul, if we're going to make that race, these boys better hurry up.
Yeah, we may very well be missing the heat races tonight at Stafford. Not a big deal. We'll be able to get all the action there in the feature. We are going to be able to check out the East Coast Winter League at 9 o'clock tonight. And then Wednesday, like you said, the first race of the New Smyrna World E-Series. And that's going to be Street Stocks at New Smyrna. So very excited for that. Thursday is going to be the first show here for us for the New England Pro iRacing Busch North Series. A little bit of a throwback series there. Those guys all run throwback paint schemes and tribute cars and things like that. So that's going to be a really, really fun show. And they've actually they've been practicing. They're really excited, and they want to make an impact here on Vidane TV. And as always, we're going to do that, and we're going to do it live.
Paul, I'm going to need you to get more energy. What do you need? You need a beer or Snickers or both?
A little bit of both.
I feel you, man. It's been a long day for both of us, but somehow, like Casey Anthony, we're still here, we're free, and we're live. Going through 3 and 4, we are green flag racing. Mike Alexander straight on to the whole shot going into 1. Mark House going to sit second. Third, Jared Butcher, and they're 3 wide further in the back with the 1 of Ryan Messer. Where did he come from? He's busted back up into the top 10 as Ryan Messer. He's trying to make up some of these spots, this ground that he lost, trying to gain it back.
Dylan, I think these guys that we're going to want to be keeping an eye on here are going to be the 78 of John Fitzpatrick, the 34 of Mike Rhino, and the 36 of Noel Fugier. Just a couple cautions ago, they came down pit road.
Oh, wait a minute. What's
Mike Rhino? Mike Rhino's going to...
Yeah, sorry about that, Kyle. Mike Rhino, I don't know what's going on. Maybe trying to do a green flag pit stop. I'm not sure. He drifted down on the backstretch. Yeah, we'll have to get more information about what's going on there. That was a curious call if that was not intentional. One driver to throw in there to keep your eye on, Ryan Messer in the 1. He was taken out from the top spot. Now he's cruising down pit road. Anytime we're talking about people here, it seems like they're going down pit road.
I don't understand why he's down pit road, boys. Is Messer on pit road? It's what I've just heard.
That is correct, Wes. Ryan Messer just went down pit road.
He just disconnected, boys. Ryan Messer has hung it up for the night.
I don't know what's going on with the internet here in Canada. My internet's not good. Ryan Messer, so we're having some troubles here. Maybe people got to get off Netflix on a Sunday night. But we're still rocking and rolling here with Mike Alexander and Matthew Barkhouse. Fellas, if you don't know, these guys are actually brothers, and they are teammates as well racing at Scotia Speed World. Not sharing the last name, but that's all good. 75 in the 15, Alexander and Barkhouse 1-2. Impressive run from Jared Butcher. Tour younger brother to Cole Butcher, who's also racing tonight, landing in third at the 54. And yeah, there is John Fitzpatrick in the 78, running out of the Charlottetown, Prince Edward Island area. Beautiful part of the country. I love going there. And Noel Fugier in the 36 from Antigonish, Nova Scotia, cruising on, sitting in top 5 position.
See the 34 machine of Mike Rhino rejoining the field as the top 5 rolled on by him. He is currently now 3 laps down after making that green flag pit stop. He may fall a 4th once the leaders hit the line, and he does. So he is 4 laps down in position number 20. Strange occurrence there. But back up towards the front of the field, the 78 of John Fitzpatrick, excuse me. Oh, he's turning the 54 of Jared Butcher. He turns him on the entry to turn number 3. Fitzpatrick spins around as well, comes to rest up against the outside wall. I'm starting to think that we may need to stop mentioning individual driver names, but
we need
to do this job.
We need to shut the heck up doing that.
Yeah, that is on us, guys. That is like the 3rd time we've called somebody's name and something negative has happened. We're not
in that
fairy godmother
in that green flag run. Not only just tonight, in that green flag run.
I'm watching this replay as Paul's getting the 54 and the 78 back together. It honestly just looked like the 78 just kind of went up, made contact, and then they got connected, and nothing was able to come out of that. That's positive, of course.
Conrad Murphy,
you got to look.
Yeah, I'm going to back it up again here. I'm looking at that 78, man, and we're looking at it in slow motion here on the Vidane TV Instant Replay, and you can see they're on the back stretch, and you see 1, 2, 3, and he just kind of, I don't know if that was any kind of intentional. I'm not sure. Maybe the 54 and the 78 got caught up in something. Big hit there, nose to nose. The 89, the 12's involved, 34's involved. 54, but man, I don't know. It just that kind of looked intentional. You see, he gives him another little shot there. Almost takes out Ricky Arbo in the 00.
Paul, if you go to the cockpit, you'll be able to see that it wasn't intentional. I think it was one of those things where he just let the car float up just a little too much, made the contact, and it just happened so quick that he wasn't able to get off of him as he should have. Just kind of leaned up on him, and just one thing led to another there. John Fitzpatrick sending Butcher around. And, we got to stop talking about people, guys. Now, I got a question for you, Dylan. We got a guy named Gary Carpet on the Vidane TV YouTube. He has asked, where is Jason Goss from?
Jason Goss is from Newfoundland, from Torbay, Newfoundland. So that's the east coast of Canada here.
All All right. So is that the Maritime or wherever the hell you guys call it?
Atlanta, Canada. So to throw that in again, Maritimes includes Nova Scotia, Prince Edward Island, and New Brunswick. Atlanta, Canada includes Newfoundland, along with New Brunswick, Nova Scotia, and Prince Edward Island. It's just a different region, kind of like the Northeast or the Midwest or the below the Mason-Dixon line down in the States there. Just different areas and different provinces all together for one name, for one region.
We're learning.
Yeah, what we call what's below the Mason-Dixon line, we call that the South. Purely the South. And certain people stay away from the South. Like if you're the kind that like hates to get your shoes dirty, or when your hands get dirty, you got to wash them right away. Not because of COVID, but because you don't like dirt on your hands. You probably want to stay away from the South because people down here like to get a little dirt.
Damn Yankees.
Right? All right, the lights are off the iRacing pace truck. Matthew Barkhouse sitting second. The inside being Mike Alexander, who we usually see him up front. We're seeing him up front again. It's good to hear where Jason Goss is from. It's like we have our own encyclopedia here of Canadian drivers with Dylan Langille. And Kyle, go ahead and bring us through the...
So here we go. Mike Alexander hits the loud pedal. Matthew Barkhouse able to fire on a nice reaction. He's not going to be able to separate himself from Barkhouse. They'll enter turn 1 side by side, lap 86 going up on the board. Quick math tells me that means we have 39 laps of racing left to go. Barkhouse looking to the inside, trying to see if he can squeeze underneath of Mike Alexander. Not going to be able to do so. Alexander's going to open it up now by a couple car lengths, and it looks like Sam Rogers, who barely avoided catastrophe in that previous caution, going to look to the top shelf and find a way around Matthew Barkhouse. No Fougere watching this side-by-side battle. Fougere now the highest, well, actually, it might be Sam Rogers. Those two guys, I believe they came down on pit road on the same time. But either way, you're starting to see here, Dylan, these fresher tires are starting to work. The attrition is setting in. The field is thinning out. It's making it easier for these guys on fresh rubber to roll their way through the field, and you're seeing that with the 12 and the 36 moving up to second and third, respectively.
Absolutely. In fact, I don't think the 15 and the 75 have made a pit stop, and that's proving it right there. And also, that outer groove starting to work. We were seeing Travis Roma racing on that line a little earlier, but now you see Sam Rogers getting down on the inside, followed up by Noel Fougere. And look at that.
Hard in the wall. And 54 gets spun. The 54 gets spun by the 89, and now the 19 gets spun by the 00 caution. Flag flies. We can't get 5 laps in, boys. What is going on?
The front end of that 54 car starting to look like it was attacked by a Butcher. That's Jared Butcher we're talking about. He gets made some it looks like it started with a 19 car. Who is it? That's Jonathan Pollard. He slaps the outside wall in turn 2, and then the 89 of Conrad Murphy kind of reacted to that to stay off of him. And unfortunately, he made contact with the right rear of Jared Butcher and turned him head on. He turned him head on facing into the outside wall, but didn't actually hit nose first. Just a wild scene of events there. And I think there might have been some more contact. There was. Ricky Arbo got into Jonathan Pollard, spun him around, and then the 097 car gets into the outside wall. A lot of things happening there, Dylan.
Hey, Kyle, that's what we're going to call instant karma, because the 54 punted the 19 into 1 and 2, which led him into the wall, and then the 54 got turned right away. That's what we call instant karma, and I'm sure Paul had the replay for us there.
Looking at it right now in super slow motion, and Wes, you called it. You nailed it right on the head. 54 just got turned by the 89 after he gave the 19 a shot. 19 comes down. I guess the spotter wasn't paying attention or trying to get a hot dog or something. He just comes right across the nose of the 00 of Ricky Arbo, gets him stopped, and almost gets tagged there by the 33. But man, tough break. Lots of damage. You see the what is that? The 051 getting a little piece of it too. So tough break for the guys involved.
Junk, and more junk. And it's cool. We have some family members that are watching, ladies and gentlemen. The Gary Carpet is Danny Chisholm's grandfather. Sorry to hear about Danny's luck there, hitting the pit road wall. Might want to check the connection on Danny's wheel. Make sure it's connected, since he said that's why he did it, allegedly. But Danny Chisholm, if you're just joining us, was doing a wonderful job up front. Went to pit under caution, but then hit the tire barriers. Looked like he tried to do a little fake out and hit the tire barriers and was done for the day, collecting Brett as well. Brett Suggs in the 33, and we haven't called his name at all for the rest of this race. And the reason being, Brett is way back in 15th right now. Mr. Suggs is in that 33 machine, but it's not over yet, guys. We're only lap 94 of 125, so about 30 to go.
Yeah, slow go here. And one driver I was just about to mention, we just saw his brother getting another wreck there. Cole Butcher in the 53. He has had some bad luck with these iRacing events, but now he is in 4th. He's got fresh tires on that Atlantic Tilt Load 53. Sitting in 4th, side by side with Noel Fougier in the 36. I'm keeping my eye on the 53 car of Cole Butcher to try and Rogers and the 75 of Mike Alexander.
You definitely should. Since you mentioned their name, usually something's going to happen. Great job, Dylan.
Well, we're under caution right now. Every other time's been under green. But one thing to note as well, Matthew Barkhouse did go to the top 2 anymore.
Yeah, Barkhouse made a pit stop there. He is now on fresh rubber. He restarts in position number 10. It'll be fun to follow his progress back through the field. Green flag falls. We have 30 laps of racing to go. Mike Alexander gets off to a monstrous restart. And look at that 36 car. Noel Fougier moves his way to the runner-up spot after getting underneath of Sam Rogers. But hold on just a minute. Rogers is going to look back underneath of him, try to cross him over and take that spot back. That battle will not happen. Fougier will solidify that spot, and if you go back a couple rows, you got Cole Butcher running side by side with Travis Roma for position number 4.
Cole Butcher kind of getting beaten around there by the Travis Roma machine, but he's able to get it straight. Now he has the 43 all over his bumper, does Cole Butcher, and kind of takes a nose off on the 18, who was looking high. Josh Langille bounces off the wall to avoid making the contact there with Cole Butcher, but he gets the negative side of that. Now he's side by side with the 30 of Keith McClellan as they dive it down into 3 and 4, Dylan.
I'm wondering, Wes, is Mike Alexander taking the gamble of not having a pit stop tonight? Because a pit stop lost him the race yesterday, frankly, as he led the majority of that USA International race. Then he fell back, got back to the top 5, but that does not get you a win here as he is still out in front. But Noel Fougier and Sam Rogers are starting to reel in that 75. 26 laps to go here near the end here of the Tranquility Online 125. Mike Alexander's had 25 laps now, but Noel Fougier, who raced his way in through the last chance qualifiers, is racing his way up to the front.
Dylan, yeah, I got a feeling that he wants this to stay green, does Mike, because he doesn't want to have to make that decision again.
Yeah, that 36 car has been extremely impressive to me here, guys. He came, as you just mentioned, Dylan, he came from one of the LCQs and has worked his way all the way up to the runner-up position. You also just mentioned how the 75 has not made a pit stop. So Noel Fougier has fresher tires than the 75. Of course, you would think that that means an immediate advantage, but you also have to think about the fact that the 36 could easily burn them off and ruin the good on those tires, trying to catch him much faster than what Mike Alexander has been doing to conserve them. We have less than 25 laps to go. The gaps kind of looking the same. I think Sam Rogers might be reeling the 36 back in, but now you're starting to get to the point where you're getting ready to show all of your cards. What do you have? You need to make it work. We have 22 laps to go. If Fougier has anything for Mike Alexander, any remaining rubber left on those fresher tires, he needs to make something happen and start reeling him in.
Dylan and Kyle, that lap, Mike Alexander ran an 18.883 to an 8.46 in Noel Fougier. Only hundredths of a second of a difference there between our top 2 cars.
See, and the thing is, Mike is no rookie to iRacing or racing in general. He's been doing it for quite a while, so he knows a thing or two about conserving tires, and I think that's going to be clearly his strategy, because with 20 to go, I don't think he's going to be making a pit stop if we have a late race caution. But Noel Fougier, maybe, as you mentioned there, Kyle, maybe he's kind of holding off here and waiting to use all the tires with maybe 10 laps to go. Same thing with Sam Rogers as well, as Sam and Noel have pulled away from 4th place, and right now they're on the hunt for the 75 as we have 19 laps to go coming up here as we come around turn number 4. How close can Noel Fougier reel in the 75?
Well, as I hit the stripe right there, the gap is now down to 0.4 of a second. Just 0.4 of a second. Just quick little blip there from the 75. But 0.4 of a second here with just 19 laps to go. Sam Rogers also trying to reel in, and we've got a bit of a gap there between third and fourth. Travis Roma starting to fall off these guys a little bit, so it's looking like potentially we're going to have a 3-car battle. I really do think that Sam Rogers is starting to close that gap on that 36 car. If you're Mike Alexander, you kind of want that to happen. You know those guys have fresher tires than you. If they get battling side by side, it'll allow you to open a gap, and every single lap that you open that gap is one less lap that they can close it. Sam Rogers is definitely reeling in that 36 car. Will it be... he slides off at turn number 2. He's going to lose a little bit of momentum there, Wes.
Now is the time, if you didn't pit or you pitted early, now's the time that these tires are going to start to show wear. Mike Alexander, I don't think he's pitted at all this race. And that last lap, 18.954 to a 9.65 at Noel Fougere. And that just shows that how even these guys are. I'm not exactly sure if Noel has pitted at all this race. If he has, it's not really showing as much. Dylan, has he pitted? But actually, that lap, if I can mention, 19.009 Mike Alexander, 007 Noel Fougere. 2 1,000ths of a second difference.
Well,
all right, so we know that Noel has 52 lap tires. I don't think Mike Alexander, finding out right now how old his tires are. 42 laps on Sam Rogers. Sam Rogers has 40-odd laps. Noel Fougere, 50-odd laps. Mike Alexander, 113 laps.
That's insane that he's been able to hold on to those tires for that long with 13 laps to go. Although Mike is calm, cool, and collected in that 75 as he does have the 36 of Noel Fougere in his mirror, but Noel hasn't really been reeling in that 75. Now, will lap traffic play a factor? There are less cars on the track here, but it doesn't look like there's any slower cars in the immediate front of the 75 of Mike Alexander, Kyle.
No doubt at all. These guys have a lot of clear track in front of them and been paying attention to the interval. It keeps bouncing back and forth. Mike Alexander had it to about a half a second. Now Fougere has closed it down a little bit, so not really making too much progress. Who is making progress, though, is the 15 car of Matthew Barkhouse. He is rolling underneath of Travis Roma right now for position number 4. We know he's on fresh tires. He just came down pit road. The question is, with 10 laps to go, is he going to have enough time to get to the front of the field? This battle is happening about 2 seconds behind the race leaders. He needs to clear the 38 of Travis Roma and really set sail if he's going to have anything to try to win this race.
Well, what he needs is a caution because he's just running out of time. We're at 10 to go. There's no way he's going to be able to catch him realistically. The only guy that has anything for Mike is well, the guy behind him, Fougere. That lap, here we go again. Mike, 19.187 to a 1.17 of Noel Fougere. So Noel showing a little bit more speed here, just hundredths of a second though. With the laps winding down, it's going to take more than that. I would like to see at least a 10th come off for Fougere if he's able to do so. A 0.57 that lap to a 1.14, so he's coming close to that 10th mark. He's gaining in slowly here, Dylan.
It all adds up here as we're on board with Noel Fougere, but again, yeah, you need faster laps than that as he is really putting it to the inside, but he's not able to close in nearly on the 75 of Mike Alexander. 7 laps remaining here of the Tranquility Online 125. Is it going to come down to a last lap bump, or could there be a late race caution as we got some lap cars in front of the leaders?
He's got the gap down to 0.3, down to underneath 0.3 of a second. 6 laps to go. At the line, the gap increases to 1/3 of a second. 1/3 of a second between the top 2 cars. It keeps going back and forth here, guys. I'm starting to lose a little bit of confidence in that 36 car, but like Dylan just said, we do have lap traffic coming up. Out of turn number 4, the flagger's going to show him a handful. 5 laps of racing to go in the Tranquility Online 125.
Either tires don't matter or Mike Alexander's a god. He's racing on double the tire wear than what the 36 of Fougere is running, and he's running faster lap times. That was almost identical, a 107 to a 109 in between these guys, and he's on double the lap count. So Noel Fougere is driving the any rubber that's left on those tires. He's driving them off, and there's a lap car. Smith!
Oh! That could have been disaster. That could have been disaster for the 75. Mike Alexander, he needs a new driver's suit.
I think, what's that Tranquility app? Holy crap.
Oh,
wow.
My goodness.
Okay, so that's going to change things up.
Paul, Get a replay in the in-car of the 75. Try to get audio if we can hear his shorts get pooped.
Yeah, we're going to pull that replay up, and that's the first shot we're going to go to. We're going to go to the cockpit of the number 75 as he's leading the race. And we did make mention a few laps ago we were going to come up on lap traffic, and we're going to do this. We're going to do this slow motion first. And you can see, oh no, this 19's going down. He's fine. Oh, he cuts the wheel right, slams on the brakes. Oh man, just barely misses him. And you heard the reaction live from the booth. We'll take another couple of looks at this. We'll take a look here from the blimp real time.
And Paul, I feel like if that would have collected him, that would have gotten Noel too.
Oh my, yeah, absolutely.
Big time. That was the 19 of Jonathan Pollard and the 80 of Ethan Miller tangling up there. And the 19 nearly took out the leader. I saw that happen with the overhead blimp, thinking, oh my goodness, the 19's going to the inside of the track. That can't be good. And guys, I think this is setting up a green-white-checkered for the Tranquility Online 125 here at Myrtle Beach. Like we saw yesterday, Wes, a green-white-checkered has to decide this race.
Man, this is nuts. This is nuts. You ready to call this, Kyle? Your first race here?
Ready to go, Wes. We saw a lot of really good racing out of that green flag run, and now it's only going to get better. We have what I can see as 5 attempts at a green-white-checkered finish. So what that means, for those unfamiliar, is that the race will continue to count laps. We are on lap 125 right now. The race is supposed to end, but we don't like ending races under caution, so we're going to give these guys an opportunity to do it the right way. They're going to have 5 opportunities. We'll continue to click off laps. If we can't get things going, we'll try it again. If we get to the white flag, you do not get cautions on the final lap of races here on the iRacing platform. It'll be green all the way to the finish, and we will see the checkered flag fall. Everybody's going to be bunched up. No Fougere. Fresher tires than Mike Alexander on that outside line, which we have seen being used in a good light tonight. There is grip up top, but will he be able to get a good enough jump over Alexander as the control car to fight with him on this restart?
Just real quick, we got Tim Terry in the booth. Tim, you ready for this restart, buddy?
Oh, no, I wasn't ready for any of the 7 restarts before this. But we're going to see what we can do, and I know you guys have another race coming up, so for those that are watching on Vidane, got some modifieds coming up, I believe, but we're going to see an exciting green-white checker finish here, and Mikey's got a little bit of left front damage, but I think he'll be okay. We'll see how this plays.
We have our oxygen machines all on after that last incident. We thought Mikey was in trouble. We'll talk to you later.
Thanks.
All right, guys, here we go. The lights are off this iRacing Pace truck. Hit that subscribe button right now and catch us after this one. But until then, 2 more laps to go for Mike Alexander. Can he hold off? No, Fougere. Can Fougere hold off Sam Rogers? So far, yes. They battle hard down into 1 and 2. They are still single file, the top 4, top 5 going into 3, Dylan.
Coming up to the last lap here, the Tranquility Online 125. Mike Alexander gets that white flag one more time around here. Will No Fougere, can he get close enough? Will he give him a little bit of a bumper? Once again, Mike Alexander has not changed tires. He's on old rubbers tonight. Going down to turn 3 and 4. Can Fougere get there? He can't. Old tires be darned. Mike Alexander has won the Tranquility Online 125 at Myrtle Beach Speedway.
Mike Alexander will never pit for tires again. After last night and then tonight, Mike will never pit for tires again. I can almost guarantee it. Wow, what a race.
Unbelievable. Noel Fougere coming up from the last chance qualifiers, finishing 2nd. Sam Rogers landing another podium, finishing in 3rd.
Kyle, you got your breath there, bud? You got your first action of Tim's Quarter Motorsports here at the Myrtle Beach Speedway.
Yeah, absolutely, Wes. That was a fantastic ending there. Mike Alexander using old tires, not even coming to the service of his pit crew once throughout the Tranquility Online 125, celebrating with a nice burnout display on the start-finish line. He's extremely happy, and from the sounds of it, learned from a mistake he made yesterday in your guys' race at the USA International Speedway. sure, it was a good performance. Lots of credit being given there to Noel Fougier as well. He, as Dylan said, made it up through the last chance qualifier, stayed out of trouble, lots of incidents to avoid tonight. He did that and was able to come home runner-up. You know he's hurting. He could taste the victory. His tongue was just on the edge of victory and was not able to get it. But overall, a fantastic night for that 36 car, coming from an LCQ to finish runner-up.
Kyle, we've got our race winner here in the production trailer from Cole Harbour, Nova Scotia, a city of champions, if you will. Mike Alexander. Mike, do you got a copy?
Yeah, I got you, bud.
Mike, do you not like going to pit road or something, or did you learn a lesson from yesterday?
Yeah, I learned my lesson from yesterday, getting caught up in that wreck, but I seen it was close on fuel, and for probably the first 80 laps or so, I was just running 3/4 throttle, just trying to save the fuel, and it paid off.
How close is it towards the end for the fuel?
0.1.
So if this would have won, if there was another green-white-checkered, there was a good chance you weren't going to make it.
I had enough for one more. If there had went to two more, I think I would have been in trouble.
Unbelievable. So you dominated the latter part of this race. What did you think of the action tonight at Myrtle Beach?
It was a good race. There's a couple guys up front there. They had some good battles, and I don't know, something happened there on pit road, but it all worked out. It was pretty good racing though.
So compared to what we were racing at USA International and Myrtle Beach, were there any big changes? Kind of the similar banking, a little different turn into the number one turn there. What were the big differences with yesterday's race and today?
Yesterday it was just really hot and it was really slick. Tonight, where it was night, a little bit cooler, it had a lot of grip, and I think it produced a lot better racing.
So I got to ask, though, so you've been changing up your paint schemes and your iRacing, your banners on your car there. I understand you've been helping out some drivers doing that as well.
Yeah, we actually got a special on. I'm just doing iRacing paint schemes. I'll do mock-ups like original ones, or I'll do... my car just ran out of fuel, by the way. I'll do whatever you want. It's $25, and I can pretty well make it look identical.
Mike, the car is empty. The tires are probably worn down to the copper threads. Who do you got to thank for the big win tonight?
Just the guys over at Rev Racing and all the fans watching. I got a lot of people that watch me race every night, so they're pretty devoted.
Awesome stuff.
All right, thanks, man.
Hey, thanks a lot, Mike. Congratulations on your big win.
Thanks, Dylan.
That's Mike Alexander from Nova Scotia. Another win for one of these special TCM events. And you heard it from him, guys. Fuel may have been a factor if we would have kept going.
Yeah, that's interesting, knowing that Mike didn't pit, and he was able to run not only all 125 on tires, but he also was able to do so on that fuel line. And a few little burnouts there and a little bit of fun, and he ran out of fuel. So I think the setup was great. I think it was made perfectly for the amount of time given. A great job there by Mike Alexander pulling that off. And I'm here with Tim Terry. He is the GM here at Tim's Corner Motorsports.
Don't put that on me.
Well, okay. He is the owner. He's the GM. He's the president. He is the Paul Levesque of Tim's Corner Motorsports. Tim, we're catching our breath. We had some wrecks that were more Wreckfest video game esque. We saw a lap car almost take out the leader with less than 5 to go. So much action here, and some possibly intentional wrecks. Just heated short track minds here at Myrtle Beach Speedway.
I think it must have been Kyle Young showing up, because I think they just wanted to put on a show for Kyle. Great to have you, by the way. Me and Kyle go way back. We've got more upset drivers about the heat races and the consies than I think we do about the feature. But we're still trying to field all those, and there's a couple of days off, which is the good thing. I think our next event is probably next Friday or next Thursday. So I think we've got a couple of days to kind of sit down, simmer, take a deep breath, and go from there. But congratulations on Mike Alexander. You guys said fuel was close. Ricky Arbo ran out of fuel with 2 laps to go in the 00 car. So I know it was close for a lot of guys. We made it in under the time frame. I know you guys have a show to make in about 13 minutes time. So thank you guys for coming on. Big thanks to Brian Nagy in the production trailer, the race control trailer next door to us here, for helping keep me somewhat sane, because there was a couple of times where I wanted to jump off the bridge. So we'll see see you guys in a couple of days. If you want to sign up, go to timscorner.ca/iRacing or the Facebook page where you're watching. All the information is there. You guys got to get ready to dust this off and get to the modified division. So have fun, and thanks for everybody for coming out.
All right, and Kyle, you want to say something real quick to your old buddy?
Yeah, it was great to be here. Great to experience this event for the first time for me. Tim's absolutely right. Back in the NR 2003 days, I believe the two of us go. So always a pleasure to get the opportunity to team up with him and do something. A very active member of the sim racing community, does a lot in the real world racing world as well, and just overall had a blast. It was a very, very fun race. Great to share the booth with a bunch of awesome talent, introducing myself to some new people, getting familiar with some new racers, seeing a great race, and hopefully there will be a lot more to come.
All right. All right, Paul, I think it's time we dust this thing off and head off to Stafford Motor Speedway. Dylan, as always, thank you for joining us here in the booth. We had fun, always professional, always a blast.
Thank you, sir. Lots of fun.
All right, Paul, wrap us up like a I'm not even going to go there. Just wrap this up.
Wrap it up like a burrito. Thank you guys so much for coming out. Been a great pleasure here. Tim's Corner Motorsports here for the Tranquility Online 125. Going to take one more quick look at our sponsor here, and then we're going to send it on up to, don't go anywhere. Well, maybe grab a drink. You got maybe 10 minutes or so. We're going to come right back live. Vidane TV, going to be racing SK Modifieds at Stafford Speedway with the East Coast Modified Winter League. So definitely check that out. Thank you guys so much for coming out. We'll see we'll see you next time when we do it live.
Living with anxiety or depression can make everyday situations and interactions seem impossible, and getting the right help can be expensive and inconvenient. We're changing that with Tranquility. Our program follows the highly effective gold standard, cognitive behavioral therapy, which helps people change negative thoughts and unhelpful behaviors by teaching them skills to practice in real life. Using Tranquility is convenient. You can move at your own pace from your phone or computer, and you don't have to do it alone. Your one-on-one coach is there to help keep you motivated and supported all the way through. If you're ready to unlock the tools you need to approach the day with confidence, visit tranquility.app to sign up for a free trial.